Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail, so save thousands. Save big on new hot tubs, spas, and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show. This weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Visit 800spasale.com.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores has been voted the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel's Best in Thrift. So to all who voted for us, thank you. And to those who haven't yet been here, there are so many items to explore. And at thrift store prices, you can find a really great deal. At the same time, you'll be helping us help others, sometimes folks right in your own neighborhood. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Traffic is sponsored by the Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale, taking place this weekend at the Waukesha County Expo Center.
The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale, this weekend at the Waukesha Expo Center. Over 60 boats on display, new and pre-owned boats, the best brands, the best pricing, free admission and parking. The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale.
The Lucas Mavericks return to face the Bucks.
And Lopez, three-pointer from deep, and he buries it from the left side. That could be your dagger tonight.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6 with Buck Shoot Around. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a contract agreement reached.
I'm Julia Fellow. Another disruption in the tariffs timeline.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we've got snow coming down. That's going to start to make things interesting. We do already have delays. Southbound 43 from just south of Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette and over the high rise. The northbound side's backed up from just before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Westbound 94 is backed up out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound heavy from 76th Street through the stadium as well. And then on 41 southbound, you're slowing down just south of Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Starting to see some snow-covered areas, some slick conditions to the north and west, especially through Washington and northern Waukesha counties, so just be extra careful. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, showers and then windy, a low of 24 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 40 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee Public Schools reaching a contract agreement with new Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casalius. Board President Marva Herndon expressed optimism for the future of the district.
With Dr. Casalius at the helm, the board is confident that our district will continue to rise to the challenges of an ever-changing educational landscape.
Dr. Casalius will begin leading MPS March 15th, and the contract runs for 2 years.
The latest Marquette Law School poll just came out ahead of the April 1st ballot. For Wisconsin Supreme Court candidates, 38% do not have an opinion on Brad Schimmel, 58% do not have an opinion on Susan Crawford. However, more than 80% of voters say they are aware that the election would tip the perceived bipartisan balance. The partisan balance on the court. For State Superintendent of Public Instruction, 64% lack an opinion of incumbent Jill Underly, and 71% have not heard enough about her opponent, Brittany Kinzer.
Fundraising continues for the new Milwaukee Public Museum building downtown.
As of the end of 2024, museum president and CEO Ellen Sensky says $105 million has been raised for the new museum by private donors, which has helped to reach an important milestone in fundraising efforts.
When we couple that with public funding, that puts us at $191 million, or 80% of our way to our goal.
Fundraising efforts will continue for another 2 years. The new museum is expected to open in early 2027. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
President Trump will grant 1 month exemption on his new tariff imports from Mexico and Canada for U.S. automakers. But reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect as planned on April 2nd. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt says the big three automakers made the request to him directly.
So the three companies that he spoke to are Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors. They requested the call. They made the ask, and the president is happy to do it. It's a 1 month exemption.
The Trump administration says that exemption applies to any autos coming through USMCA.
Elon Musk will meet with House Republicans this evening regarding the town hall questions lawmakers are facing about the widespread federal layoffs. ABC's Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill.
Some Republican leaders, like Speaker Johnson, have tried to pour cold water on that and accuse those demonstrations of being orchestrated by, quote-unquote, Democratic operatives. But nonetheless, there have been Republicans who have faced those pointed questions in town halls, who have come back here to the Hill and acknowledged that they do have constituents, some of them are Republican voters, who still have serious questions about DOGE and Elon Musk.
Today, Musk met in a closed-door lunch with Senate Republicans.
The U.S. is talking to Hamas directly in an effort to negotiate an end to the stalemate in the ceasefire agreement with Israel. The White House says Israel was consulted beforehand. News Nation's Libby Dean.
This really a standout moment, given that the U.S. has never engaged directly with Hamas, at least publicly, given that they are designated as a terrorist organization here in the U.S. Now, the White House press secretary saying there that they won't get into the details, considering their lives at risk. And we know that nearly 60 hostages remain in Gaza, and at least half of those are deceased. That is per Israeli Defense Forces. But we know that President Trump has said in the past that there will be, quote, hell to pay if these hostages weren't released on his timeline.
Coming up, an unusual way to steal jewelry.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:05.
From sliding framed, semi-frameless, or frameless glass shower doors to heavy all-glass custom enclosures that can be built to fit any opening, at Less's Glass, we cover all the bases. But our biggest strength isn't only our selection. It's in our installation experience. We've been around nearly 40 years, and you only last that long if your installers leave the job the way your customers expect it to be left. Other places can sell you a glass shower enclosure, and some of those big guys may even be able to do it for a little cheaper. But the question you need to ask yourself is, will the job be done right? So remember, paying for quality only hurts once, but it does feel good when you get what you expect. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:07.
A man pretended to represent a professional basketball player and allegedly swallowed hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stolen Tiffany's jewelry.
Jathan Gilder police say robbed a Tiffany jewelry store in a mall in Orlando.
The 32-year-old of Houston allegedly told store staff that his name was Sean and that he was negotiating a sale on behalf of a player on the Orlando Magic basketball team. Police say he was brought into the VIP room but soon jumped up, grabbed jewels, and ran off. Hours later, Gilder was pulled over and a live scan showed foreign objects in his stomach. Those objects, 2 pairs of Tiffany earrings worth $770,000. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks are back on the home floor tonight, one night after defeating the Hawks in Atlanta. Coverage against the Mavericks begins after the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And in college basketball, 20th-ranked Marquette on the road at UConn, a 7:30 tip. And the 12th-ranked Badgers visit Minnesota. The Badgers are tied for 4th place in the Big Ten. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:08.
Tax tips are brought to you by the Neal Group. For less stress with the IRS, visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net for a free consultation.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Tax tip number 4. Have you made or are considering making any energy improvements to your home? The credit for energy-efficient home improvements is back and better than ever. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 has made non-refundable credits available for specific items, both individually and combined, that can be used annually with no lifetime limit. Building envelope items such as insulation, exterior doors, and exterior windows each have a credit amount, but combined have a $1,200 limit. Residential energy items, including air conditioners, furnaces, water heaters, electric panel improvements, and home energy audits, have a maximum combined credit of $2,000. Unfortunately, new roofs are no longer part of the credit. Credits are only allowed on existing homes and not new construction. These credits are available from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2032. For more information on this tip and other tax tips, go to nealgroup.net or stop in and see us.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. Happy New Year. How's business? Do you really know? We recently worked with several clients who thought they knew, but they didn't because their books were not in order. Imagine thinking you were making $1 million, but because your books are a mess, you were really only making $200,000. Quite a difference. Imagine finding out expenses were not recorded properly or sales were double recorded. If these happen to you, we can help. We work with our clients to clean up their books and give them the information they need to know where their business is now and where it is going in the future. Don't wait. Start on the path to less stress, more cash in your pocket, and no more sleepless nights. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net today to book a meeting. We can talk over Zoom, the phone, in our office, or your place of business. Yes, we like to visit our business clients. Don't wait any longer. Call 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Did you see outside?
Yeah.
It's like a snow globe.
I was doing like all the traffic and weather, and all of Dodge County is snow covered. A lot of Sheboygan County, Fond du Lac County, completely snow covered roads. So please be careful. It's now in Milwaukee.
Be very, very careful out there. More on the weather as we head through the afternoon. All right, what we're tracking today.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
So you heard in the news that tariffs on automobiles have been eased at least for another month, but tariffs on everything else remain in effect. And Target and Best Buy are warning that they will raise prices literally within days because of the tariff situation. The CEO of Target saying in an interview with CNBC that the Trump tariffs on Mexico are forcing the company to immediately raise prices on fruits and vegetables. This week, the guy in charge of Best Buy says that China and Mexico are their top source for electronics. Quote, "We've never seen this kind of breadth of tariffs. This, of course, impacts the industry. We will be raising prices for the American consumer." So as the tariffs remain in effect, consumers will very shortly here be impacted.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more about that coming up throughout this hour, including we're going to be talking about tariffs with construction and also in the 4 o'clock hour, tariffs with small businesses and lumber prices with a local business. So we'll be talking to everyone. A Door County candle company has just raised $1 million from the sales of a single candle.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's to aid people who are living in Ukraine, living through this war. The candle is the color of the Ukrainian flag. We should have a photo of it. It's really nice. The cause is deeply personal for the owner, who's Ukrainian and still has family in the country. It's the color of the Ukrainian flag once again. All the proceeds are going to help people during the war. The company also sent thousands of tin candles to Ukraine for soldiers to use as light and memorials for those fallen. So $1 million. That's amazing.
It's a beautiful thing. That's a really, really cool thing. All right. Now text the word watch, and you can see this, Julia. This is a Cheeto shaped like the Pokemon Charizard. I'm not really into Pokemon, but this is a Cheeto. Text the word watch to 855-616-1620. We'll leave this up through the break. You can see the lizard-looking Cheeto. Okay, so this thing went up on auction, right? Because some weirdo got it in his Cheetos. I was like, oh, that's something to do with Pokemon.
Oh, so that's the tail. It's a long tail. I thought that was a long leg running. Okay, got it.
So the processed cornmeal came attached to a Pokemon card and went up to auction. Bid started at $275. $275. It sold for $88,000.
No, come on.
Yeah. Can you believe that? $88,000?
I'll form one for you for less.
You want to see the Cheeto that some weirdo bid on? Text the word watch to 855-616-1620.
It is amazingly shaped.
It kind of looks like Italy with wings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, the boot.
Yeah, it's the lizard, though. So text the word watch and you can check it out. It's 3:14 at WTMJ. Some of the key audio from last night and insight into the president's speech. That's up next.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
We're talking with Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson. $50 million investment in the Beacon, a health and wellness hub on 27th in Wisconsin. How important is that to greater downtown Milwaukee and to all the neighborhoods?
I think it's super important. Aurora is working to make sure that those resources and opportunities are available in the neighborhoods. I'm really happy for it.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh, you're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients, since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Traffic and weather, it's Debbie Laziga. Hello, Deb.
Hello. All right. Well, we've got slowdowns on southbound 43 just south of Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and over the high rise. Northbound is slowing down from before Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Westbound 94, a heavy ride from about 20th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's just slow right through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Southbound 41 slowing from Hampton down past Capitol Drive. And now for the road conditions, we've got pretty much all of Washington County and Northwest Waukesha and points northwest. All that stuff, all pretty much partially covered. Going to be slick conditions. So be extra careful, especially if you're going through Jefferson County or Juneau, etc. Those areas you're definitely going to find snow-covered areas. Dodge County, oh my goodness, yeah, it's all completely covered. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. It's snowing right now. Debbie's right. The showers end this evening, a low of 24 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 40. Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 38. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 42. And on Sunday, partly cloudy, a little bit warmer, a high of 49 degrees. Right now, snowy and 33. So the president addresses a joint session of Congress last night. Here comes the president. Everybody was ready.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
So Donald Trump walks into the chamber. He shakes the hands of representatives and senators that are lining the aisle. And it was quite a speech. It was the longest speech in the history of presidents addressing joint sessions of Congress. Longer than all the State of the Unions, longer than everything else. It was a very, very long speech. One of the things that a lot of people are talking about today is the moment when the president introduced 13-year-old DJ Daniel. He was a guest of the president. This is the president talking about DJ.
He has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
It was so cool. Then the director of the Secret Service got up and handed him a badge, and DJ jumped into his arms and basically hugged the director of the Secret Service. His dad was there with him. It was really
His
quite a
reaction
moment.
was awesome.
Yeah. Hey, can I share one more with you? Then I know you
Yes.
have a topic that everybody's talking about.
Yes.
So let me share one more. This is the president. I just got a kick out of this. He's talking about Greenland. Listen to how his comments begin and how they end. This is only about 30 seconds.
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
I just thought it was funny. So he starts by saying, "We realize you're a sovereign nation, okay? We're not going to do anything crazy with you guys. We're proud of you. We need your help." And then at the end he says, "And we're going to get it one way or the other."
Whoa.
And there were boos and applause. I think he was trying to be funny. Those are a couple of moments from the speech.
Yeah. So if you want to text us on how you thought Trump did he win over anyone, or is the country, the same as it is as ever? It's our Setting Unlimited talk and text line, 855-616-1620. So my observation starts with this one.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum.
With this one, it's all good if you have signs. I was gonna butt in when he walked out. Did you see the lady with the sign that says "This is not normal"?
Yes. So that was Congresswoman Melanie Stransbury.
Okay.
That was a congresswoman. So she stood very stoic and held the little paper she had handwritten. "This isn't normal." Then did you notice a guy on the other side of the aisle? Another congressman reached across the aisle and smacked it out of her hand.
Okay, so my husband said, did you see that? They ripped it out of her hand.
Yeah.
And he wanted to rewind, but I wanted to stay on time because everyone was texting me real time.
Me too.
So I said, no rewinding. I believe you.
He reached over and smacked it out of her hand, and then she still stood there stoic with the same look on her face.
It's okay if you're not clapping, even if you're not looking happy, all good. But the interrupting?
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
So that was Representative Al Green of Texas yelling, shaking his cane at the president. You can't hear what he's saying. We need a microphone to know what's going on, what he's saying. You know what I mean? If we're going to do this,
though. That's why
That's
they do
why?
that, so the guy at the podium can have the
I
microphone.
don't even know what's going on. What am I watching?
You don't want to give that clown a microphone.
Well, if you're going to do it, let's at least get the production up. Then the jabs, the back and forth, so sharp, like the Elon Musk moment. Right here, you can see the way both sides behave.
He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that.
And he kept going over to that side, pointing over all of you and mentioning Joe Biden so many times.
It was so entertaining. He is no matter what you think of the politics, he is a showman. He is entertaining.
Yeah.
I was just, and if you're a Democrat, you're cringing and you're screaming. If you're a Republican, you're pumping your fist in the air and you're screaming. It's just so interesting.
It's just a high-low booing, and then we're going to really meaningful moments.
Yeah. So
up in with the guests, and it's like then we're clapping for a fallen office, whatever, and then we're going back to the jabs. It was like bipolar.
It was a lot. The one thing I really didn't like that really bothered me was Democrats' behavior when it came to some of the honored guests. So we already played DJ Daniel. He's a 13-year-old cancer survivor, and the president's honoring him by making him an honorary member of the Secret Service. There's nothing political about this at all.
Right.
And Democrats sat on their hands. This is a 13-year-old kid who was supposed to live 5 months, and 5 years later plus, he's still alive, and they couldn't bother to applaud him. That's despicable. What about Mark Fogel? He comes home from Russia after being held a hostage and should never have been held a hostage. Joe Biden tried to get him home. Donald Trump got him home. He's there with his 98-year-old mom, and Democrats can't applaud for that guy either. That is poor form and bad taste. That is letting your anger at one individual, Donald Trump, cloud your judgment about what you should be doing.
Yeah. Was it Lake and Riley, too, we had?
Yeah.
I don't know how they reacted to that. I can't remember.
At least that one, they should have applauded for Lake and Riley's family. But
they
understand.
passed the bill.
Well, but I understand that one at least because Trump led into that one talking about how it was an illegal alien and we need to lock him up and all that. That was very political.
And then he mentioned the bill that was bipartisan, right?
Yes. Yeah. So how do you not applaud for that? The other thing really quickly that I thought was really interesting, I felt like I was watching a game show at one point. Like Donald Trump's like, and you get a national refuge named after you, and you get a Secret Service badge, and you get admitted to West Point. He was like giving stuff away.
The West Point. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
It was like a game show. Dun, 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 dun. It was entertaining, though, but it was really too long.
Yes. Up next, tariffs. We speak to a third-generation metal manufacturer. His real concern for Wisconsin consumers, the cost that he believes will fall on all of us.
Outdoor Living WTMJ News Time is 3:24. Let's check those markets. A little bit of a bounce back. Stocks rallying today after Donald Trump gave auto industry tariffs a little bit of a reprieve. The markets responded, no doubt about it. The Dow today was up 485 points. That's 1.1%. The NASDAQ was up 268. That's almost 1.5%. The S&P 500, it clawed back. It was up 65 points on the day. That is more than 1%. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Connect Chiropractic. Guess what? They've opened a brand new location for Connect. They're in Oak Creek now, South Side. Welcome. Here we go. They're going to take good care of you down there. They've already got locations in Tosa and Delafield. Connect is my place. I go tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Don't stalk me. 9 a.m. Tosa, I will be there. Connect Chiropractic, Dr. Al is going to take good care of you. Long-term care focus on total wellness. No twisting, cracking, popping. It's more nuanced. It's more easygoing, and it's targeted. It's so targeted, I feel great every time I'm in there. Voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor by Milwaukee Journal Sentinel readers. They're going to take great care of you all day long. It's Connect Chiropractic.
Hi, I'm Jean Nemovitz from Bruce's team. The thought of selling your home can feel overwhelming. I often tell our clients, for you, this is like holding your breath, but for us, it's like breathing. Let us guide you through the home selling process with kindness, patience, and genuine care for your well-being. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Call us today at 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea to breathe new life into your home. Call your neighborhood CertaPro painter. Ask about their color consultation services. We did this years ago. Incredible. Our house is like a new house. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. They care. They'll meet you where you are on your home journey. Schedule your free estimate online. It's easy at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters. Choose who we went with. It's CertaPro all day long.
According to the Census Bureau, more than 12,000 Americans are turning 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. 65 is traditional retirement age because it matches up with Medicare, but Gallup found 61 is the average retirement age. Some Annex clients retire early, but we also have clients working at 70 because they love what they do. You know why? Because they've got plans built by fee-only fiduciaries, plans custom-tailored to their lifestyle. They identify their wants wants and needs, and we went to work building investment, retirement, tax, and estate plans in their best interest. Proper retirement planning doesn't start the week before you retire. Having a focused plan built by our in-house teams will go a long way in helping you reach the retirement you desire. It all starts with the conversation you probably already have in the back of your mind. It's time to put that into action and contact Annex. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Hey, John Mercure here for Dave Drake Camp Heating. These guys have been coming to my house for a very long time. They make sure that our house feels like it's supposed to feel. What I've got from Dave Drake Camp not only controls the heat or the air conditioning, but the humidity. And it's made my house so nice. My home comfort is protected thanks to Dave Drake Camp Heating. The same guy literally has been coming to my house. His name's written on my furnace. What does that tell you about the company? Great company to work for. They're going to take great care of you like they've taken care of me for all these years. Think you might need a new system? They'll give you a free estimate. I loved when this was happening for us. We sat down at the table. They unfolded the brochures. They talked about the benefits of each one, the cost points. We worked through what was best for us, and then it was installed in no time flat. It's Dave Drake Camp Heating. Their comfort is your tradition. That's how they work. That's how they roll all day long. My house has never felt better thanks to Dave Drake Camp Heating. Check them out today. The best way is to just go to the website. You can Google it, Dave Drake Camp Heating. It's Dave Drake Camp.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Traffic is sponsored by the Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale. It's taking place this weekend at the Waukesha County Expo Center.
The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale, this weekend at the Waukesha Expo Center. Over 60 boats on display, new and pre-owned boats, the best brands, the best pricing, free admission and parking. The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure, your top story, taking over MPS leadership in just 10 days.
I'm Julia Fellow. Is your driver's license compliant?
I'm Debbie Loziga, southbound on 43, backing up pretty much from Capitol Drive, solid all the way through the Marquette and over the high rise. You're back on the brakes from Lapham down to the KK River. Northbound is slowing down from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. We've got southbound 41 heavy from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Westbound 94, watch for delays from about 20th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound 94 has got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic right along from 68th Street to Holly Road, and then again coming out of the Stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
We have snow in southeast Wisconsin right now. Drive safely. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour possible tonight. Snow comes to an end later tonight. Expect slippery spots. The low will be 24. Breezy early tomorrow. And then it's sunny. The high will be 40 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Milwaukee Public School District has reached a contract agreement with new Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius.
Welcome, Dr. Casilius. We're excited to work alongside you as we continue to build a bright future for our students and our schools.
Dr. Casilius will start leading MPS in 10 days. That's March 15th. Her contract is for 2 years, where she will make more than $300,000 a year plus benefits.
The race for Wisconsin Supreme Court has been flooded with donations for campaigns supporting both sides. Jake Curtis with the Institute for Reforming Government tells WTMJ how the results will impact Wisconsin politics.
Over the next 3 years, if the progressives lock in a majority, it's a progressive majority to at least 2028. If conservatives can flip it, they then have two opportunities to defend that in 26 and 27. So it's fair to say, like, this is kind of like for all the marbles, at least for the next 3 years, control of the Supreme Court is up, and there's a lot of national implications.
The elections are April 1st.
With a looming deadline of May 7th requiring real IDs to fly domestically or visit a federal building, more than a third of Wisconsin driver's licenses are not real ID compliant. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, more than 36% of Wisconsin's valid driver's licenses or ID cards don't display the real ID star. Those who still need a real ID must apply for one in person at a DMV office. The cost is the same price as getting a regular driver's license, $34.
A Wisconsin native is one of many cleaning up the deadly wildfires in California.
The better part of a year from the time the fire started until we'll probably be back.
Burlington native and Pacific Palisades resident Caitlin Morale evacuated on January 7th. While her home remains intact, the combination of materials that burned around the home have rendered it uninhabitable.
The smell is awful because of the substances that have burned around us.
Morale hopes to move her family back before the end of the year.
This is definitely where I want to live, where we want to be.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The Palisades fires burned for 24 days before the flames were fully contained.
President Trump is granting a 1-month exemption on his new tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada for U.S. automakers. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
After a call with the big three automakers, and it comes after the stock market's roller coaster ride after those new tariffs were implemented, spurring investor fears of a crippling trade war. The White House answering a number of questions on this topic, promising that the president will put more money back into Americans' pockets.
This administration is wholeheartedly committed, of course, to ending the inflation nightmare caused by the Biden administration. Look at the deregulation efforts. Look at the president's push in his speech for Congress to pass tax cuts.
Those big three automakers are Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis.
The Trump administration planning to cut more than 80,000 employees at the Department of Veterans Affairs. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The VA reductions would cull staffing at the agency by roughly 20%, bringing it to just under 400,000 employees. That's where it was in 2019 during President Trump's first term, prior to the passage of the PACT Act, which authorized the hiring of tens of thousands of new VA employees. Veterans themselves make up about a quarter of the agency's workforce.
More than 9 million veterans get physical and mental health care from the VA.
The CDC says it's sending a rapid response team to Texas as the measles outbreak grows. ABC's Phil Lipov.
Most of the cases are in unvaccinated people or people whose vaccination status is unknown. Also, we had that death, 20 people in the hospital, more than 20 people hospitalized, and one death, first death in a decade in this country.
Health officials say in Texas, the outbreak shows no signs of slowing.
As millions of Catholics mark Ash Wednesday around the world, Pope Francis was absent from ceremonies in Rome, where he remains hospitalized with double pneumonia. CBS Seth Doan.
We learned that Pope Francis is in stable condition and has not had any other episodes of respiratory failure. He has been receiving high-flow oxygen through tubes in his nose, and the Vatican says he will be receiving other non-invasive mechanical ventilation. He's been getting that in recent days through a mask that covers his nose and mouth.
Doctors say the Pope's prognosis is still guarded.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers are back in action today, taking on the White Sox in Cactus League play. Our next broadcast is tomorrow night against the A's. Former Packers kicker Mason Crosby officially retires with the Packers. He played for Green Bay 16 seasons before finishing his career with the New York Giants. College basketball tonight, 20th ranked Marquette on the road at UConn. That's a 7:30 tip. The 12th-ranked Badgers visit Minnesota. The Badgers are tied for 4th place in the Big Ten. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding and a whole lot more. And the Bucks are back on the home court tonight against the Mavericks. Our coverage on WTMJ starts at 6 o'clock.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:36.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris are joined by Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
And we don't want to see you hurt either. But your government has chosen to do this to you.
That's Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's message to Americans after a 25% tariff was placed on goods coming from Canada and Mexico and 10% for China. Look what just happened today. Things can change so quickly. There's a month-long pause on tariffs for auto imports. But I spoke to Lance Trailkill, who's third-generation owner of All Metals Fabricating, specializing in sheet metal. He says his business has already been affected since they put a 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminum, which the president did Super Bowl Sunday.
That following Monday, we came in to prices on aluminum skyrocketing 30 to 40% immediately. Steel now up 30% as well. And so, yeah, we felt that we've been feeling it. But the mills adjust their pricing immediately to take advantage, and so do the distributors that are domestic as well.
So if this goes long enough, he says American businesses could find sources elsewhere. So how has that played out? He says the 25% on aluminum has been hit the hardest, and he shares why tariffs on Canada might be really difficult, especially for his small business.
Most of our aluminum comes from Canada. The heartbeat behind is to have more self-sustained resources, meaning mills in the United States. But the reality is we have 4 mills for aluminum in the United States, and it cannot even, produce a tiny fraction of what U.S. manufacturers need. And same is true of steel. We have quite a few more, but the U.S. could never support U.S. manufacturers.
Well, not never, but, they would have to build everything.
And that takes
train up
time. Yeah, that's a
Right.
big undertaking.
Right. He says he understands these tariffs, though, and where the president's coming from.
I'm for tariffs on China. That's great. We can't compete with slave labor and subsidized materials by their government. So that helps level the playing field. And I get the political play.
But in the end, he warns the Wisconsin consumers will feel the brunt of it, all of us, because everyone wants to make the same amount of money as last year with business.
What happens is the mills take that 25% tariff and they say, we're not paying that. We're just going to mark it up. So now it's, call it 30%. Then that comes to the U.S. distributors. So now it's 33, 35%. And then it comes down to the manufacturers to push and shove between the customers. And what happens is U.S. manufacturers' margins actually get squeezed. And then additional costs gets passed on to, the end consumer.
So about 40-45%. He says it could go up with steel and aluminum alone. He believes it's going to cause that dirty word, inflation.
From a geopolitical standpoint, I understand we've been operating on uneven playing field, and we need to level the playing field, and so some corrections need to happen. I hope that he can work it out with Canada and Mexico because those are strategic partnerships, and I'm confident he will.
We'll have to wait and see. This conversation does continue with a small business expert. He has an interesting take on what industries could look like if the tariffs stay in place for just a few months. Just a few months. He warns that coming up at 4:15. Then at 4:20, another big industry which could be affected is construction, how that could affect us here in Wisconsin. John and I speak to a local family business coming up.
Hey, straight ahead, a big investigation on TMJ4 in cooperation with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and Wisconsin Watch. This is something we should all be interested in. It involves police officers throughout southeast Wisconsin. What you need to know. Investigative reporter Ben Jordan with us live in the studio. Up next.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more. With WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts on air and at WTMJ.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Town Bank. Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? I used to feel that way. I was at a big bank in town. I won't give their name, but they rhyme with Shlomo. Bank at Town Bank, they're going to take great care of you. I feel this way all the time. I walk in the door, they know who I am. I have an issue online because that's how most of us do our banking now, right? And they're there to take care of you. Best banking solutions, best customer service. It's Town Bank. They're part of the Wintrust family of community banks. Here's why that matters. It's a big company, right? Wintrust. They have all the resources. You have access to all their stuff. But it's small town bank based in your town with that customer service. It's Town Bank, whether you're opening your first account, maybe an account for the kids like that first savings account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business. They have tailored solutions to help get you there at Town Bank. Stop settling, start experiencing a better way to bank at Town Bank. Different approach, better results. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. It's townbank.us.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads right now with the snow?
Yeah, a little bit not great. We do have our delays. Pretty typical stuff at this point. Southbound 43 from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Back on the brakes from Lapham to the KK River. Northbound is slowing from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. East and westbound 94 both slowing down through the stadium interchange a bit. Basically all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard on the westbound side. We are seeing road conditions not great, especially through Waukesha County, Washington, and most of Ozaukee County, so just be extra careful if you're going to be driving through those areas, and it looks like it's moving towards the Milwaukee area. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour possible tonight. The snow comes to an end later tonight. Expect slippery spots, including right now. The low will be 24 degrees. Breezy early tomorrow, then it's sunny. The high will be 40 degrees tomorrow. A chance of light snow Friday, to our south especially. The high will be 38 degrees. Night flurries possible Saturday, a high of 42 degrees. Then nearly 50 degrees to enjoy on Sunday. Right now it's 32 degrees in Milwaukee and snowing.
This is a big investigation, a very big investigation, an important series of stories. It's Duty to Disclose, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Wisconsin Watch, and TMJ4, led by Ben Jordan, investigative journalist, is breaking real news here, and Ben is with us in the studio. Ben, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So Duty to Disclose is about the Brady List. Can you explain to people what the Brady List is and what it's intended to do?
Yeah, this is something most people didn't know existed. The Brady List is a list of current and former officers with alleged credibility concerns due to past crimes, dishonesty, bias, integrity concerns. Prosecutors have to keep track of these officers due to a landmark U.S. Supreme Court called Brady versus Maryland back in 1964. It requires prosecutors to turn that information over to defense attorneys if a Brady List officer is called to testify in court. We know that there are 191 current and former officers on Milwaukee County's Brady List. About 2/3 of them are from the Milwaukee Police Department. Second most is the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, but we know a vast majority of the suburban police departments have at least one Brady List officer on their force or formerly did.
And there may need to be more. There's one that is not on the list, and what did you uncover? That will be on tonight at 6.
Yeah, this investigation raises a lot of questions about whether officers are missing from this list. This goes back to an investigation we did last year into a former Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputy who botched an investigation into a hit and run. But a deeper dive into his record revealed he had been disciplined 8 times throughout his career at MCSO, suspended 5 times. The one of note here was a suspension several years ago for allegedly making racially inflammatory remarks to black people at a Walgreens. If you don't mind, I could read some of the statements that were made. A store employee called the sheriff's office and claimed that Sean Bassage, the former Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputy, asked her, "Why does Black Lives Matter? What the expletive do I owe you people? What, 200, 300 years?" Records show Bassage told investigators the conversation was about him being sick of taking care of black people. Expanding further on that, saying that he made racial comments that were as far as him paying taxes for minorities. So this is why this matters here. Bias, especially racial bias, is a criteria for the Brady List. I don't know if you recall former MPD officer Eric Andrade, who was part of the Sterling Brown incident. He was put on the Brady List for racial bias. This officer isn't on the list. We spoke with the sheriff, the chief judge, and the district attorney about this case.
So you deserve some credit here because the sheriff did not want to talk about this. You've been trying to talk to the sheriff for a very long time. She wouldn't do the interview. You wouldn't go away. What did the sheriff say when you asked her about his exclusion from the list or his behavior?
The sheriff basically washed her hands clean of this situation and said she wasn't the sheriff at the time when this happened and that someone else made this decision and she's not going to go back and relitigate this case.
Okay, the racist comments at the Walgreens, though, was he on duty? How do we know that this happened?
We know he was off duty at the time and under the influence of alcohol.
And there's other things with this guy, right?
Yeah, there was another suspension for allegedly passing a $100 counterfeit bill at a Fond du Lac bar. Fond du Lac police investigated that incident. He wasn't charged, but he was suspended by the sheriff's office for that incident.
Which means there was
well.
some credibility to the allegation if he was suspended.
That is so, gosh.
So I
Secret Service
understand
gets
Danita
involved in that.
Ball saying, all right, I wasn't in charge. Does she believe he should be on the list? Could she add him to the list now?
She could refer his case to the district attorney's office, but she says what's done is done, and she's not going to relitigate that case.
Okay, that's a good question, though. How do you get onto the Brady List? Is it like the sheriff or the DA or who?
It's a very good question. Typically, it is law enforcement agencies referring integrity violations that were substantiated by their departments to the district attorney's office, who then make that determination whether that is Brady material.
Yeah, and if you are part of law enforcement, if you're looking at it from the inside, there's that blue line where you want to stay on, on the side of the men and women in blue. I mean, maybe they don't want to give up some of their
Right.
people
That can
on
be
that
problematic.
list. That list is deadly.
So, Sean, Ben, this goes on and on. I mean, you outlined also that this same officer was involved in a questionable hit and run or a traffic accident that has implications. What did you discover?
The sheriff admitted that this deputy did a poor investigation. She said doing a poor investigation doesn't rise to the level of being put on the Brady list. I do want to make note, we asked the district attorney whether he thought this was Brady material. He said he couldn't make a determination based on our short conversation with him, but we followed up and he said he didn't go back and re-review this case. We also asked
Go ahead.
We also asked the chief judge whether he thinks that's Brady material that should be disclosed if this officer were to come and testify in court. And he said he would have to defer to the district attorney and the sheriff about that. So was the DA, the sheriff, and the police chief all in front of you at the same time doing the interview? So that makes it hard because when you're trying to blame one or the other. So maybe did they all want to do the interview together, or was that your decision? Very interesting question. We asked for individual interviews, and they insisted it was a joint interview between the DA, the Milwaukee police chief, the Milwaukee County sheriff, as well as the chief judge.
But then, as a good journalist does, you doubled back with them individually. I mean, you just recounted a conversation with the DA. And does the DA just not have an interest in this topic? Does he not want to relitigate? Why? I don't understand. You've presented a very compelling case that seems to argue that this guy should be on the list.
I wouldn't say that he isn't interested because we've brought several cases to his attention. For example, the 5 dead officers that were still on the list.
What?
One who had his case expunged. A couple others who had internal violations that we just thought were interesting and wanted to report on them. And he proceeded to take them off the list. So I wouldn't say he doesn't care, but we feel that our investigation shows that there are inconsistencies with this Brady list and how it's maintained. And back to this Basich situation, we took the sheriff's response, the DA, the chief judge's response to a professor at the University of St. Thomas who focuses on police accountability research. And she said she's concerned with the sheriff's decision. And the fact that someone else made a decision, doesn't alleviate the current DA and the current sheriff from deciding whether that information should potentially be shared to a judge and a jury and defense attorneys.
Yeah, it's an important tool in our judicial process. And if you've determined that it's inaccurate and inconsistent, and you've pointed out specific cases where the DA agreed with you, apparently, that's dangerous for all of us. That's something we should all be concerned about. Is that kind of what the professor seemed to agree with?
That's exactly what she said, yes.
So
and we also talked with a civil rights attorney who said, if this is a direct quote, if Basich isn't on there, then there are dozens and dozens of other officers that should be on the list that are not.
Okay, so the Basich story with incredible detail is tonight at 6 o'clock. You've got to see this piece, TMJ4, tonight at 6 o'clock. It'll be posted on their website afterwards. What are you working on for down the road? You've got a lot of stuff here.
We're working on all sorts of stories on this Brady list, particularly officers who are on the list, such as Nicole Swenson, who we spoke with yesterday. She's going to be in court on Friday for a plea and sentencing. We're going to be doing a story on a pair of Milwaukee police officers who were deemed not credible by a judge in a criminal case, but they aren't on the Brady list, and public defenders strongly disagree with that decision, along with several others.
Yikes.
It's incredible work. It's Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News, Ashley Lutheran, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and Jim Malwitz of the Wisconsin Watch. Ben Jordan with us here live in the studio. Check out the website and his reporting. Ben, thank you so much. Good job on this.
Thank you very much for having me.
It is 3:56 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Despite delays, Advocate Health is moving forward with a nearly $50 million facility on Milwaukee's near west side. The operators of Aurora Healthcare plan to build a health and wellness hub with construction scheduled to begin in spring of 2026. Milwaukee County is exploring a new 15,000 square foot indoor and outdoor golf facility at Noyes Park. Funded by nonprofit First Tee, the new facility would include a putting course, an artificial practice green, upgraded range, golf simulators, and hitting bays. Finally, MSOE is looking to raise $125 million to invest in artificial intelligence. On Monday, the university entered a public phase of a 7-year campaign that would create a 97,000 square foot academic building to house a new school of advanced computing. I'm Drew Dawson from MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
The biggest boat sale of the year happens at the Waukesha Expo Center March 7th through 9th. Announcing the Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale. Over 60 boats on display. Pontoons, triple tunes, deck boats, fishing and bow riders, even used boats. All in one place at one time. The best brands and the best prices, all priced to sell now with guaranteed spring delivery. So bring along your checkbook and the title to your trade and get the deal of a lifetime. Free admission and parking, details at centerpointmarine.com. The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale at the Waukesha Expo. Be there!
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Spas! The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Millions of inventory must be sold. Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail, so save thousands. Save big on new hot tubs, spas, and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Visit 800spasale.com.
Otto's Wine and Spirits had a big dinner party not that long ago. Wanted to make sure I had some Italian wine. I went to Otto's. The selection at Otto's Wine and Spirits, incredible. Chianti Classico is what we really like, and they have so much selection. The same goes for beer, seltzers, all those drinks that you like so much. They're Wisconsin strong, and they'll beat any advertised price. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits, serving Milwaukee since 1945. Employee-owned. The staff is super friendly. It's the best selection, the best value. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love. This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. Visit extpros.com today.
The Lucaless Mavericks return to facing the Bucks.
And Lopez, three-pointer from deep, and he buries it from the left side. That could be your dagger tonight.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6 with Buck Shoot Around. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: rain turns to snow ahead of your afternoon commute.
I'm Julia Fellow, breaking down the contract for the new leader of MPS.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Southbound 4394, right about at Beecher. We've got a crash off on the right shoulder, so watch out for that. Northbound 43, right about at Mequon Road. We've got the right lane blocked with some debris, so keep that in mind. It might be a barrel. Otherwise, delays. Southbound 43 coming in from just about Keefe all the way through the Marquette, all the way down to the KK River. On the northbound side, got backups from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. Westbound 94, still heavy from 25th Street all the way through to Hawley Road. Eastbound 94, we got some delays from just past Barker Road all the way past Calhoun. We did have a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder, so just be careful right at Calhoun. Then more delays from about 68th Street all the way through to 35th. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory in effect until midnight for all of southeast Wisconsin. Gusts could hit 50 miles an hour. Tonight, the snow will taper off, a low of 24 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 40 degrees. It's currently 32. Let's continue with the weather. That transition to snow is continuing right now. Meteorologist Kristen Kershane says the temperature drops as the wind kicks up.
The wind gusts over the next 12 hours really picking up. North to northwest winds gusting over 40 miles an hour this evening is going to be very windy. The National Weather Service went ahead and issued this wind advisory from 2 p.m. until midnight tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky will join us live coming up during the 5 o'clock hour.
Milwaukee Public Schools reaches a contract agreement with new Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius. Board President Marva Herndon expressed optimism for the district.
With Dr. Casilius at the helm, the board is confident that our district will continue to rise to the challenges of an ever-changing educational landscape.
According to her contract, she's going to earn about $320,000 a year plus a transitional salary of $80,000 before her first annual contract year officially begins on July 1st.
Keeping everyone safe during the NFL draft is the main goal of the league's Director of Investigations and Security. Speaking to the Green Bay Common Council last night, Ralph Ennis says local law enforcement will work closely with the FBI.
We have thought of virtually everything that could possibly happen, and we've been working with the fire department, the EMS, and the police department to ensure we have plans in place to put people in a place that's safe if there's an emergency.
Security measures include installing a 100-foot-tall perimeter around the campus, security screening at checkpoints, crowd control, and capacity monitoring. Green Bay hosts the draft starting April 24th.
New tariffs being implemented by the Trump administration raising concerns among consumers and economists. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
President Trump posted on Truth Social saying Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called him about these new tariffs. Trump saying Trudeau, quote, largely caused the problems we have with them because of his weak border policies, which allowed tremendous amounts of fentanyl and illegal aliens. Now, Canada, Mexico, and China are facing up to 25% tariffs on a number of goods, drawing concern from consumers of rising prices. So here's a list of what items could cost more in the coming months. Housing, energy, gas, food, toys to electronics.
President Trump is granting a 1-month exemption on these tariff and imports from Mexico and Canada for U.S. automakers.
Coming up, a celebrity steps up to help high schoolers make it to prom.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 4:04.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ansay.com. That's ANSAY.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast is sponsored by Dave Drakamp Heating. If you hear it here, you hear it on the podcast page. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDragcamp.com.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, And I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenix should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenix Google reviews will tell you more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 4:06.
A famous actor had quite an announcement for high school kids impacted by the wildfires in California.
Attention all seniors. This morning announcement was a little different than what school kids normally hear. This is Steve Carell. In a post on X, The Office and Morning Show star Steve Carell telling high school seniors at schools impacted by the Eaton fire in Altadena the cost of their prom tickets this year are covered.
I work with a wonderful charity called Alice's Kids, and Alice's Kids wanted me to let you know that they will be paying for all of your prom tickets.
Prom tickets can cost $200 each now. He ended with this.
Enjoy the prom.
Alex Stone, EBC News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks, that is, are back on the floor tonight after defeating the Hawks in Atlanta last night. Coverage against the Mavericks at 6 o'clock here on WTMJ. And the Brewers continue Cactus League play today against the White Sox. Our next broadcast scheduled for tomorrow night against the A's.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 4:07.
News is sponsored by Horicon Bank, the natural choice, horiconbank.com.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
Looking to escape the winter chill? Fox World Travel has you covered. Whether it's an all-inclusive vacation with Apple Vacations, a luxurious Princess Cruise, or a European adventure with Globus and Avalon, we create unforgettable experiences just for you. Enjoy last-minute deals, exclusive offers, and personalized itineraries. From booking to boarding, we handle all the details for a stress-free trip. Ready to get out of the cold? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO to start planning your getaway today.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
What's coming down?
It is. It's snowing hard outside. More on that coming up. Let's get to the host with the most. Tori Lowe, 1017 The Truth. He's on from 1 to 4. I've been lobbying he should be on till like 6 because he's got so much good content all the time. Tori, thanks for being here with us.
Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, did you watch the speech last night?
Yes, I watched the speech last night, and it looked divided. The room looked divided.
Totally.
And sometimes when I see division politically, maybe there's some political differences. I understand that. The one thing I didn't like is when the victims were displayed, and there was no that's where the division should have stopped.
Right.
Amen.
I'm a victims advocate, and no matter what's going on in politics or out here, when families are being displayed, residents, citizens, we all that got to be pushed to the side because we're there for them. And no matter if Trump is displaying the victims or the Democrats are displaying the victims, we should pause and actually hear their stories and actually be excited that something is being done.
You are so right, Tori. I mean, victims of violent crime, guy who was hostage in Russia who should never have been held hostage. He's there with his 98-year-old mom. That has nothing to do with politics.
That has nothing to do with politics. That's just humanitarian ideas that are being displayed and people that are surviving horrible situations. You know, once they present it on the federal level, it's bad. Yep. It's super bad. Yep. So we should put our differences aside at those moments and actually praise the spirit of humanity at that point.
Okay, I want to play a clip for you. This was an uplifting moment. I want to play this and ask you to respond to it. This is Donald Trump talking about 13-year-old DJ Daniel, who is a guest of the president. Listen to this.
He has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
I can only be excited about that. I can only be excited about that.
Right.
And many times when we talk about America and a child that was handicapped through something that caused him to have a brain surgery and things like that, to have that honor, look, did you see the look on his face?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
amazing.
I
Joy.
mean, just this is what, you
yes.
know, when we talk about victims and people that are struggling to fight to overcome tremendous obstacles, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you gotta stand up. You gotta give these people a boost of energy, and many times when we don't see that sends off a red flag in my head.
So producer Brandon just sent me a video that I'm looking at here. Young DJ is in the Oval Office right now with the president.
Hey, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Hey, look, I'll tell you this, you know, many times we have our differences in America, and we fight and we argue our points. But when it comes to us as a people, as citizens, and the things and the struggles that we overcome, we should praise those. We should put things aside to take that moment, then go sit back down. Like when you get to talking and get back into the politics, then you can have a seat. I don't knock people for feeling the way they feel, but don't allow that to seep in where you overlook people in the struggle that or victims or people that are overcoming great things.
Totally.
Don't allow politics to affect that.
Exactly.
Your praise and condolences for those families.
If you get tired of this radio thing and helping people, you should be a preacher. I could listen to you.
Let me tell you something.
You are so common sense.
Look, I mean, that's what's going to save us.
He's Tory Lowe. You should check him out 1 to 4 on 101.7 The Truth. Great stuff as always, Tory. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It is 4:13 at WTMJ.
If treating your top gun has taught us anything,
the Dallas Mavericks have Luka Doncic, and they traded for Anthony Davis.
It's that the sequel is never as good as the original.
I give you Captain Pete Mitchell, call sign Maverick.
Talk to me, Goose.
The Mavericks head to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks.
Pocket pass to Giannis, who soars in and plunges it through with a one-hand slam.
Our Bucks radio coverage starts tonight at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Save big money on your next project now at Menards. Upgrade your home with new outlets from Legrand. They have innovative outlets and light switches available in a variety of finishes and styles with features like USB Type A and C charging ports. Brighten up your home and save big on Legrand outlets and light switches today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, John Mercure here for Vita Hearing Care. They're the best. Mount Pleasant and Waterford. I got my hearing aids in right now. They help me hear better. They've changed my life. They've made it better. Right now, they've got a cool event coming up. It's on March 19th. You get a meal. It's at the Mealy Cafe in Racine. It's at 11 a.m. is when it starts. You can test drive the same hearing aids that I am wearing right here. You get in touch with Vita Hearing Care. Start at VitaHearingCare.com. That's VITA HearingCare.com. They're going to help you. And this is a great event. You get to meet Jeff and Cynthia and the team, or you can call 262-800-1060. 262-800-1060. The event's March 19th. Go with the team that has helped me greatly. Life is sweeter with better hearing. It's Vita.
Broadway's smash hit, the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, is coming to Milwaukee. The true story of a kid from Brooklyn, destined for something more, featuring all the songs you love, including America, Forever in Blue Jeans, and Sweet Caroline. Like Jersey Boys and Beautiful, the next musical mega hit is here. The Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, March 25th through 30th at the Marcus Center. On sale now at marcuscenter.org.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com, because today's your day.
Traffic and weather. Hello, how we doing, Deb?
Hey, John. Yeah, still slow on 43. Southbound from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette, down over the high-rise bridge, and then again from about Lincoln down towards the KK River crossing. The northbound side's backing up from Kilbourne up to Keefe. Westbound 94, watch out for delays from about 25th Street to Hawley Road. Eastbound is slowing down just before Mitchell Boulevard all the way to 35th. Southbound on 41, still heavy just south of Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. As for the road conditions, yeah, it's starting to come into Milwaukee County, the slick conditions, so you do want to be extra careful around the area. Also, by the way, northbound 43, right about at Mequon Road, looks like we've got the right lane blocked with some debris in the roadway. Can't quite see what it is. That camera's not working. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
And your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight. A little bit of snow, ends, a low of 24. Tomorrow, sunny 40. On Friday, mostly cloudy 38. On Saturday, partly cloudy 42. On Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of 49 degrees.
Americans will be paying more for groceries, for gas, for cars, for homes. Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight.
That's Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau calling the fight a trade war. So how could this affect small businesses? Jason Taylor, a small business expert, he's talking about the 25% tariffs on Canada. 25% tariffs now in effect that's affecting Mexico, and 10% that's affecting China. He works in the realm of tech startups with CodeLaunch.com. He also is a small business expert again. He says this is clearly not meant to be forever. I mean, look what happened just today, he says. There's a month-long pause on tariffs for auto imports.
These clearly are not meant to be permanent and forever. So this is a disruptive tactic that's designed to cause some disruption, and there could be some short-term pain in the butt. You know, I don't think that these tariffs are going to be all still in place a year or 2 years from now. I don't think that.
What could change? The supply chain, for sure, especially if you give Wisconsin business owners enough time.
We will find new resources permanently, and we won't come back to them. So they don't have forever to dilly-dally, and they're going to have to negotiate more fair.
Taylor, also in the tech industry and helps tech startups. What about them? What if they hire someone in Canada, for example? He reminds us this tariff is on goods, not services just yet.
And the answer is no. This is for goods coming into the country via plane and ship. So tariffs are not going to apply to services. At least they haven't in the past, and it's not being talked about right now.
Another big industry, lumber, construction. Yes. How is that going to affect us here in Wisconsin? John and I speak to a local family business coming up.
That's right on deck. It's going to impact everybody. It's 4:18 at WTMJ. Also keeping our eyes on the skies and the roads. Debbie is on top of that this afternoon.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Hey, John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They're the best in the business. It's quality through and through. Look at my new gear. Check this out, Julia. This is my new Pella gear.
Oh, I'm jealous. I love it.
They do everything the right way. It's all about quality. It's about representing the people that they serve the best way they can. They've got the best craftsmen. They've got the best product. They're going to come out. Whether you need a window, whether you need a door, whether you need both, maybe it's a sliding door like I'm having put into my house, they will do it, and you get the Pella labor warranty every single time you use Pella. And check this out. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors have 0% interest for 6 years. For 6 years, 0% interest. Shut the Pella front door. Gina's going to take good care of you. That's how she rolls. She hires the best people. They've got the best product. A lot of it's made here in Wisconsin. It is unparalleled. It's Pella. Let them come into your house, let them take care of you, and it's 0% interest for 6 years. 6 years, that is a long, long time. Certain restrictions apply. Offer expires shortly, so make sure you get it done now. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Oh, the tariff talk has been rough. It's impacting just about every industry. The news today that there's a pause on the tariffs that impact automobiles from Mexico and Canada, but everything else is rolling. It's full steam ahead. One industry that's being impacted big time is the lumber industry, and we get a lot of stuff from Canada. One of the best companies in town is Bliffert's Lumber and Hardware right here in Milwaukee. Eli Bliffert is the president. He's with us. Eli, thank you so much for making some time for us.
Absolutely. Happy to chime in.
How unsettling is this tariff situation just in general?
Well, it's really, John, the uncertainty of it all. You know, we kind of feel like we're on a yo-yo here where the tariffs are on, the tariffs are off. You know, especially new home construction, that's a really large financial commitment for a family to make, and to not know where your lumber prices are going to be is hard to digest.
How much higher could it go up, Eli, in the next few weeks?
Well, I mean, the 25%, if it stays at 25%, it really is just going to be 25%. The Canadian mills owe that money if the tariff is on when the product crosses the border. So they cannot eat that, nor can I. I mean, it'll all just get passed on. We don't think it's going to stay at 25%, though. We all think this is sort of a negotiating ploy for other things. And we think our industry is thinking it's going to settle around 10%. Even 10% is a lot added on to the existing tariffs that are already on Canadian lumber that have been on for decades.
So half of your lumber comes from Canada. That's a big, big number. So how bad could this be? How much of an impact is that?
Well, it's a lot. The bulk of our framing lumber comes from Canada, and it's not that we don't like U.S. lumber. We love lumber produced domestically, but geographically, the upper Midwest is just closer to Canada. So it's causing a lot of anxiety. I mean, the market will settle out prices, and we'll be fine. And we did not raise our prices 25% yesterday, and we're not going to do that today. We're going to give it a little time and see what shakes out from the administration.
How long would it take for you to change your supply chain and buy more lumber locally?
Well, there's not enough U.S. production to supply the construction industry in the upper Midwest. It would take years for the United States to develop the infrastructure to log enough and mill enough lumber to support the existing U.S. housing market. There isn't enough in the United States. We need Canadian lumber.
Eli Bliffert is with us. He's the president of Bliffert's Lumber and Hardware here in town. As a business guy, as a guy who buys commodities, as a guy who runs a successful company, just in general, how damaging is a tariff situation when it's implemented like this?
Well, it's uncertainty. You know, it makes people make short-term decisions. It makes people put off and pause building projects. And that affects all of us. I mean, we need the construction industry in this state, in this country. And for that, we need a consistent and fairly priced supply chain. We certainly diversify our supply chain like any good business. But because of where we are located so close to the Canadian timber basket, we end up getting a lot of our product from Canada.
And it's also about the quality. Can you talk about the quality of the lumber that comes from Canada, and that's why maybe half of all of your supply comes from there?
Well, part of it is there's some products that are not produced in the United States because the trees simply don't grow here. The old growth western red cedar comes from the Pacific Northwest of Canada. There isn't enough to be viable for supply in the United States. And the other thing is, Midwesterners like to build with spruce, with Canadian spruce. If your father used it, your grandfather used it, your great-grandfather used it, you kind of don't want to change to southern yellow pine for stud, shipped all the way from the southeastern part of the United States.
So, Eli, give us an idea, if a tariff stays in place at 25% on an average size home, how much more would the person pay to build the home roughly?
On an average size home for just the lumber, it would be between $2,500 and $3,500. That doesn't take into account all the other products that go into a home that come from Canada and or Mexico. That could be up to, that could raise your price up to $10,000. Insulation, drywall, vinyl windows. It's a lot.
Eli Blifford is the president of Blifford's Lumber and Hardware in Milwaukee, a great local company. Eli, thank you so much for making some time for us.
You bet. Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
All right, you too. It is 427. So that movement on the tariffs today impacted the markets. So the president saying that, you know what, we're going to pause at least temporarily the auto tariff portion of this from Canada and Mexico. And after that reprieve, the markets responded. The Dow ended up on the day 485 points. It didn't quite make up for all of yesterday, but it was up big time. The NASDAQ was up 268 points. That's 1.5%. The S&P 500, it was also up 65 points on the day. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Millions of inventory must be sold. Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail, so save thousands. Save big on new hot tubs, spas, and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show, this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Visit 800spasale.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale. It's happening this weekend at the Waukesha County Expo Center.
The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale, this weekend at the Waukesha Expo Center. Over 60 boats on display, new and pre-owned boats, the best brands, the best pricing, free admission and parking. The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure, your top story, monitoring the rain snow mix moving into Milwaukee.
I'm Julia Fellow. Concerns of becoming the next target for tariffs.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do still have 43 northbound with the right lane blocked at Mequon Road because of some debris in the roadway. Southbound on 43 backing up from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound's backed up out of the Marquette up to Keefe. Westbound 94 delayed right now out of the Marquette all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard, with the eastbound side slowing down right through the Barker Road area and then back on the brakes from 76th Street to Holly Road and then through the stadium. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour possible tonight. Snow right now comes to an end later tonight. Expect slippery spots. The low will be 24 degrees. Breezy early tomorrow, then it's going to be sunny, a high of 40 degrees. Right now, 32 degrees and snowing in Milwaukee.
So how long does it last? Storm Team 4 meteorologist Kristen Kershane.
By 10 o'clock tonight, that snow is completely out of here, and we're left with clouds as we head towards tomorrow morning. We could see some slushy accumulation here with this snow. 1 to 3 inches possible up towards Fond du Lac and Dodge counties. The rest of the area, we're looking at possibly up to an inch.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Dysnansky joins us coming up in 1 hour.
Milwaukee Public Schools reaches a contract agreement with new Superintendent Dr. Brenda Cassellius.
Welcome, Dr. Cassellius. We're excited to work alongside you as we continue to build a bright future for our students and our schools.
She starts leading MPS in 10 days, March 15th. Her contract for 2 years will sure earn about $320,000 per year, plus a transitional salary of $80,000 before her first annual contract year officially begins July 1st.
A scheduling error is leading to longer school days for some Brown Deer students.
The state requires a student to spend so many hours in class for completion of each school year. And the Journal-Sentinel says the Brown Deer School District discovered that its calendar for this year was short by 86 hours. That means longer school days from here on out for some. The middle school and high school will start 15 minutes earlier starting next week. And at the high school, an additional 5th-hour class period will be added at the end of the day for seniors. The school day will extend from 3:15 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Daylight saving time starts this weekend. Losing an hour of sleep is not easy, especially on children.
Get the kids to bed earlier this week. It will help them adjust to the upcoming time change. Dr. Casey Freimiller, a pediatrician with UW Health Kids, suggests sleep fading,
where you slowly adjust the bedtime over a few nights to get to the new bedtime that you'd like.
Try 15 minutes earlier tonight, 30 minutes earlier the next night. You get the idea.
Your clock moves forward an hour. That shift doesn't seem as drastic.
Dr. Freimiller also suggests talking with your kids during the day about the change, not right before bedtime. Jessica Tai, WTMJ News.
France is voicing concerns over Europe possibly becoming the next target for President Trump's tariffs.
French President Emmanuel Macron says Europe must prepare itself for potential U.S. tariffs like those imposed on Canada and Mexico. This incomprehensible decision will have consequences, he said, and warned that any tariffs on European goods would prompt a response from the EU. Elaine Cobb, CBS News, Paris.
Ukraine trying to rekindle talks with the U.S. following last week's blow-up in the Oval Office.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirms Ukraine's President Zelensky has reached out to the U.S. to set up a meeting.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has been talking to his Ukrainian counterparts, and so we're in the midst of this, and we'll see what happens next.
This comes after the Trump administration paused some intelligence sharing with Ukraine and suspended military aid. Last week, President Trump booted Zelensky from the White House after a public scolding. Zelensky was seeking security assurance. Trump wanted access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers back in action today, taking on the White Sox in Cactus League play. Our next broadcast on WTMJ is tomorrow night against the A's. Former Packers kicker Mason Crosby retires as a Packer officially. He played for the Pack for 16 seasons. In college basketball tonight, 20th-ranked Marquette is on the road at UConn. That's a 7:30 tip. The 12th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers visit Minnesota. The Badgers are tied for 4th place in the Big Ten standings. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. And the Bucks are back on the home floor tonight against the Mavericks. Our coverage starts at 6 o'clock.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:35.
The Secretary, Ann Sayers, up next.
Fleet Farm's bucket sale is back. You know the drill. Pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket for only $3.99. Then save 15% on everything you can fit inside, including clearance. That's right. Any qualifying items you can fit in the bucket are 15% off. So come on in and load up on savings during Fleet Farm's bucket sale, now through March 5th. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Oh, you know it. She is simply the best. She is the travel secretary, Ann Sayers, and she is with us. That means it's going to be a great one. Happy Wednesday, Ann.
Happy Wednesday. Are you hungry?
Oh,
Yes.
I am. This time of day, always. Why? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking anywhere you are, any community, any time of year, Wisconsin always has a awesome fish fry waiting for you.
Ooh, is this a big tradition in Wisconsin? Is it a big deal?
Every Friday across Wisconsin, you are going to be able to find a beautiful selection of fish, sides, and sauces and settle in for a beautiful fish fry.
Ooh.
And there's a really nice backdrop at the Fireside Dinner Theater.
I know. So the Fireside, of course, we all know it for their fabulous live theater performances, but the Fireside Dinner Theater in Jefferson County is also known for their fish fry. They have you can start your meal with a hot and savory French onion soup. That is for sure what my husband would choose, or Wisconsin beer cheese soup. So that's a tough choice.
Mm-hmm.
Full of local flavor. Then you can choose from a variety of delicious seafood options. They include steamed Atlantic cod served with peppercorn sauce and shrimp tempura that pairs perfectly with a brandied apricot sauce. And it's not just the fish that are going to get your mouth watering, because the Fireside is serving up entrees with the special recipe of coleslaw, veggies, a choice of potato, and that actually includes their famous German potato pancakes, which are served with applesauce and syrup.
Oh, and syrup. Ooh, that sounds really
Do you
quite
like sour
yummy,
cream
actually.
with it? With your
I'm a
potato
sour cream
pancakes?
girl.
Yeah, me too.
Girly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Paul.
me too. You know, and when we talk to people here in Milwaukee, a lot of them go north when they visit parts in our state. The Northwoods everybody talks about, and I love the Northwoods. But go south a little bit, because Lake Geneva's got something pretty cool going on when it comes to fish fries.
It's such a gem, and I love this one, a very memorable fish fry at the Abbey Resort. The resort's waterfront restaurant takes Wisconsin's legacy of the fish fry very seriously. Plus, you're going to catch beautiful views of Geneva Lake while you're eating. The restaurant incorporates a Wisconsin icon, our signature beer batter, New Glarus Brewing Spotted Cow in their beer batter.
Wow.
You can select from 3 pieces of cod or walleye to be fried in that golden brown perfection. Each meal is served with coleslaw, applesauce, and hush puppies, plus your choice of a potato pancake or plain cut fries. And if all that deliciousness leaves you a little sleepy, you can actually stay the night at the Abbey Resort. Each of their gorgeous 300-plus bedrooms has a plush bed just made for resting off a fish fry. You're also going to have access to a range of amenities they have there. They have the Avani Spa, an indoor pool, movie theater, and so much more.
I stayed at the Abbey not that long ago. Oh my gosh, Ann, you're right. It is beautiful. The grounds are stunning. The Abbey is a really, really special place.
It's very unexpected, right? You
Yes.
don't think you're going to find that there, and that's Lake Geneva for you.
Yep,
Okay,
you're
have
right.
you guys tried the spa there?
I have not. Have you, Ann?
Bucket list.
Yes.
Have you?
I've heard really good things. My best friend was just there too.
Oh,
Yeah, she had a great time.
Check it out, the Avani Spa.
And now there's a tradition that's been going on for more than 60 years in our state, Ann.
Yes, Wentz on the Lake. This is in Winnebago County. Wentz Fish Fry has been going on for 60 years because the original owners, Fritz and Cynthia Wentz, started it in the 1960s by setting out folding chairs and tables on Fridays and serving a 99-cent perch dinner. I love that story. So
Ooh,
the next
yeah.
generation in this family owned restaurant upholds that strong tradition. You can now visit Wentz on a Friday to try their fish fry, which has won an award for Best Area Fish Fry every single year in a row since 2012. The lake perch is what started it all, and it remains a very popular option for diners. They offer a variety of other seafood for you to choose from. They have lobster, haddock, cod, salmon, shrimp, and smelt. And from the northwest to the state line, restaurants treat guests to delicious fish fries in all regions of Wisconsin. And we encourage you to figure out where you're going to have your next fish fry at travelwisconsin.com.
That's a great idea. So I have memories growing up when I was about 7 years old going smelt fishing with my dad and his buddies, and we would run into Lake Michigan with these nets, and you catch smelt. They're really little, tiny fish, and you catch a lot of them, and you fry it up. And I didn't know that there were places that serve smelt, that they get enough of it to put it on the menu. That is quite a menu they have going on at Wentz on the Lake.
It's such a variety, and I'm with you. I haven't tried that yet, and I would love to.
What kind of fish fry do you prefer?
Ooh, that's such a hard question. If they have perch, I usually will pick the perch.
Yep, me too. Sold on perch,
Okay,
for sure.
do we like the thin, flaky batter like me, or do you like thick batter?
Have you ever had a pretzel batter?
No.
No.
That's kind of fun, too. But I'm also into this, the New Glarus beer batter. So I'm up for anything.
Yeah, I agree. The spotted cow, that was interesting.
Yeah,
that was an interesting one.
And nailed it, too. You can plan your fish fry or your spring getaway at travelwisconsin.com. It's a wonderful website. Ann Sayers is Wisconsin's travel secretary. Ann, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
It is 4:42 at WTMJ. All right, tariffs. How could tariffs actually impact the state of Wisconsin? And what do business owners in Wisconsin think about this tariff topic? Dale Koinga, MMAC's president, up next.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to...
Fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone!
Spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
It is way gone. Over the batter's eye and out of here for William Contreras.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the A's Thursday at 7:05. Home matter of the season. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. There's a real difference between financial advisors. That's why Annex Wealth Management urges you to know the difference. Annex is local, independent, and part of the community, and that matters. Their investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning teams are based right here in Southeast Wisconsin. Now's the perfect time to get serious about your investment and retirement planning. All right, just let me say this real quick, right? With the tariff stuff going on and all the volatility in the marketplace, you need a steady hand. You need somebody who's going to guide you through this because we're in it for the long haul, right? So use this simple checklist when you choose your advisor. Is your financial advisor a fiduciary? How are they at tax planning? Do they do estate planning? Can they help make sure that your legacy plan follows your wishes? Great questions to ask, and it helps separate those who are just trying to sell you something. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. They'll meet you where you are. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. Schedule your own appointment today. That's Annex Wealth Management. Locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin. Know the difference. Annex.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged wheel alignments.
You name it, we've fixed it. That wheel alignment is an adjustment of your suspension, which is a system that connects your car to its wheels.
And when your alignment's off, you get uneven, premature tire wear, and we have a fix for that too.
If a pothole has bitten you where it hurts, come to Richlands for a professional evaluation by one of our ASE certified technicians.
And at the very least, we'll make sure you have the right amount of air pressure in your tires.
And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
Due for Service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Let's get ready to safely with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb, how are some of the snow-covered roads?
Well, we've got some slow speeds out there for sure. Southbound 43 slowing down from North Avenue down through the Marquette all the way down towards the KK River. Northbound's backing up right through the Marquette up to the Keefe. On westbound 94, watch for delays from about 20th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound side from Hawley Road to 35th is where you're seeing delays. Southbound on 41, heavy from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. And, of course, the slippery conditions are now starting to creep in towards the Milwaukee area. Waukesha has eased up a bit, so that's actually pretty good. And most of Washington County is going to be a bit partially covered and slippery, so just be careful heading through those areas. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour possible tonight. The snow comes to an end later tonight. Expect slippery spots. The low will be 24 degrees. Breezy early tomorrow. Then it's sunny. The high will be 40 degrees. A chance of light snow to our south Friday. A high will be 38 degrees. Night flurries possible Saturday. A high of 42. Then nearly 50 degrees to enjoy on Sunday. Right now, it's cloudy in Milwaukee at 31 degrees.
It's time for the Milwaukee Economy Briefing, where we dive into the latest trends and insights shaping our city's business landscape. Alongside MMAC President Dale Koinga, here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow, presented by Huracan Bank.
All right, Dale's with us in the studio. Looking good, Dale. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's why you got to watch the show, right, Julia? Text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620.
Awesome blazer, awesome shirt. It has like blue buttons. I already wrote down where he got it from. There you go.
This is a whole different topic, but I highly recommend that if you're a professional, you invest in your clothes.
I do too.
As a 6'7" guy, 6'7", 225, I can't just go to the store and buy stuff. You need to have a guy.
And they're right. First impressions matter.
And
that's
women,
when people first see you.
Hot tip, make sure that you get it fitted. Go to like a cleaner and get it fitted to your body.
Get it done. All right, that's today's segment.
There you go.
Fashion with Julia and Dale on WTMJ. Hey, let's talk about the topic, Dale, that everybody's talking about, the tariffs. Wisconsin businesses are going to definitely be impacted. Give us the broad view. What's going on with the tariff deal, and how do you feel about it?
Well, the broad view is that if you poll the business community, they were all in favor of using the weaponization of tariffs in order to get better deals, but they're against the tariffs. So they thought up to this point would not happen, and there'd be some sort of deal, and but now they're there, and this is bad. It's bad. It is bad for Wisconsin businesses. We're hearing from several dozens of our members, if not more, just saying this really is going to impact us. And it's going to impact consumers. There's no way this does not lead to higher cost. You know, I think it's remarkable, just taking a step back, is we're a nation founded on no taxation without representation. That is at the core. Our revolution was primarily an ideological revolution, but also an economic revolution. And part of that was no taxation without representation. And I just scratch my head when I think about, at one point, it was like over 100 years ago, that Congress gave the power of tariffs directly to the executive branch, which is just contrary to our form of government. And you're seeing this right now, where it's frustrating from our perch at MMAC because we have very good relationships with congressmen and congresswomen of both parties. And you would think that the process would be you go to your congressperson and say, hey, this is not going to work for Wisconsin businesses. But you go to them, and it's like an executive branch thing. It's not a legislative branch thing. So we're all rooting for these tariffs to be resolved. I mean, Canada and Mexico are our friends. And sticking it to them in this type of language is not conducive to the greatest free market bloc that we've ever had. Americans have never made more income than they're making now. Americans, on average, have never had more assets they have now. I know it's not a perfect system. I know it's not a perfect time, but it's the most perfect system, and it's the most perfect time, even though it's hard. So we got to keep that in perspective, and just these high tariffs and where we're going with this is scary, and the business community is hoping that it's resolved sooner than later.
I think it will be sooner. From the experts that we spoke to throughout the day today, it might be sooner than you think, especially with the automakers. There's now a pause on that. So what are the positives if this were to end soon and a deal was made?
Well, the positives is to have some sort of certainty here. And one of the concerns is that when they replaced NAFTA with the USMCA deal, like we thought this was behind us and we had certainty. And taxes, regulate. One of the things that businesses want is just certainty. Is that if I'm going to invest, what is the investment playing field look like? So it'd be really nice to have this behind us, and we are stronger because of Canada and Mexico. Canada and Mexico are much stronger because of us. But it's really important that we have affordable lumber and affordable steel and affordable. And the economy is more complex than it's ever been. The flow of goods doesn't go one way. A lot of the flow of goods, especially in the auto industry, why they pause it for 30 days, is these goods go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's not good. It has to be resolved soon, and that's what we're rooting for. And we're communicating on behalf of our members who have concerns. And I haven't heard from a single member who said, this is great for us. I've heard some members say it has no impact on us. But I've heard from a lot more members saying, this is going to hurt us, and it's going to hurt consumers.
So let's talk about the flip side of that. We're talking a lot about the tariffs on goods that are coming into the United States. What about the retaliatory tariffs and the stuff we send out? How is that going to impact what happens in Wisconsin?
Well, it compounds it. It compounds it. And so what it does is when you raise the cost of our goods as they're being sold in India or China or Japan, wherever it is around the world, is as our goods are more expensive because of that tariff, then those economies, those consumers, those businesses reorientate their purchase power to other companies in other nations. And that creates, when you have a relationship between a buyer and a supplier, those are long-term relationships. So it's not like they move over to those new relationships and the next day they say, oh, the tariffs are gone? Oh, then we'll break this new contract and move your direction. And this is why it's super important to have certainty and have these contracts and good relationships with the flow of goods around the world. And it's been generally good for America to have the flow of goods around the world. And it's very complicated what trade balances mean today. I'll just give you a great example is let's say Chile sends, just these numbers are arbitrary, but let's say Chile sends $1 billion of copper over to South Korea. And then South Korea sends $700 million in cars back to Chile. Would you rather be Chile or South Korea in that relationship? Well, you'd rather be South Korea. And the reason is because scraping copper out of the earth is a lot less labor intensive and knowledge intensive than the complicated process of making a vehicle. And if you're raising kids, you want to raise your kids in South Korea, not Chile, because there's more of an information technology to do engineering and do accounting and do all these things. And so that's a trade imbalance for Chile, but you'd rather be South Korea in that relationship. And so these trade balances that are driving Trump to do these tariffs, it's really not reflective of the 21st century economy. I mean, do you know that when you have a company like Hairbro come here and they invest hundreds of millions of dollars in a gummy bear factory, that increases our trade imbalance. It's crazy how that works, but it increases our trade imbalance. But we want a foreign direct investment. We want them to invest here. That's actually them saying, we believe in America, we want to invest in America, but the way the trade balance works, that actually works against us in the trade balance calculation. So it's super complicated.
But that's an oversimplification to then just look at the trade balance because of the point you just made. That's not the only factor that should be considered when we consider
complicated.
tariffs.
And there's no doubt that there's a shift and there's parts of Milwaukee that used to have a lot more manufacturing jobs, or parts of Appalachia a lot more manufacturing jobs. There are transitions going on, but generally speaking, the free flow of goods, which is also the free flow of ideas around the world, are best served when tariffs are non-existent or low, and money can move and jobs are created. And going the other direction is bad for creating wealth in America at the poor, middle class, and higher echelons.
Well, because I think about our ginseng farmers and our cranberry farmers and the guys who are growing the soybeans. I mean, these retaliatory tariffs are going to be damaging to them.
It is damaging, and also the goodwill of American products and America. It's not creating the relationships that are conducive to growing our economy. Now, America's in great shape. We have a lot going for us, and I'd rather be in America than any other nation in the world when you look at demographics and you look at ideas and the flow of ideas and information, intangibles. And so I think even with these tariffs, we are still a great place to invest. There are some positives that could come from this, but generally speaking, we're concerned and hope this is resolved soon.
So what are you telling your people? Be patient. It's going to be okay. We're in good shape. What do you tell the businesses that come to you for counsel?
Well, first of all say we're in the listening mode and passing it along. So I'm more in the listening. I'm going to pass that off to our representatives in DC and tell them that. Part of when I come on your show like this isn't Dale reading a textbook and telling you what I think, is when you hear Dale on your show is you're hearing what the 2,000 members of MMAC are telling me. And I'm not speaking for Dale. I'm speaking for the 2,000 members of MMAC. That's what an association is. So I tell them, like, hey, I'm hearing you. I'm going to get on the show this afternoon. I'm going to talk about this.
Perfect.
And we're going to get to D.C. and we're going to tell them about this as well. And hopefully that all moves the needle to resolve these issues.
We all hope so. Dale Koinga is the president and CEO of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce in that sweet blazer. Dale, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you later.
The Milwaukee Economy Briefing is sponsored by Horicon Bank, the natural choice. Visit horiconbank.com.
Tell us a little bit about innovative signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Hey, John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the Experience Center, you got to get out to this place. It's more than a showroom. I can't call it a showroom because it's so much more than that. You walk in there, first off, it's designed by the people that design the Apple stores. Yeah, those cool spaces. It's got all the Pella product in there. Get in there right now and check out the windows, the doors, all the options, the sliding patio door like we're getting. Now's the time, because right now, an incredible deal. You can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get the stuff. They charge you no interest. It's a great product and the great quality control, and you have 6 years to pay it off. That is remarkable. They're expert installers available year-round. You can install in as little as a day. And if anything ever goes wrong, Pella will handle it ASAP with the same team from start to finish. It's Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They're the best. 0 interest for 6 years on brand new stuff. Set your free home ins consultation at PellaWI.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at ACCUNET.com.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. Come in and make that deal. Visit Heiser Automotive Group with 4 convenient locations or online at Heiser.com. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Today's your day.
The Lucaless Mavericks return to face the Bucks.
And Lopez, three-pointer from deep, and he buries it from the left side. That could be your dagger tonight.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6 with Buck Shoot Around. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top stories stepping into a leadership role earlier than expected.
I'm Julia Fellows. Safety plans for the NFL draft.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and the majority of the problems that you're running into as far as delays are concerned is going to be in and around the Marquette. Southbound 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and then continuing on towards the KK River crossing. Northbound is going to be slow from about Lapham all the way up to Keefe. We've also got westbound 94 slowing down around 20th Street out to about Hawley Road. Eastbound slowing from 76th to 27th. And we've also got some delays southbound 41, south of Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory in effect until midnight for all of southeast Wisconsin. Gusts could hit 50 miles an hour. Tonight going to be windy, slippery, a low of 24 degrees. Tomorrow sunny, a high of 40 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, for all of us, the rain has transitioned to snow and will soon be moving out of the area. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Kristen Kershane says the temperature drops as the wind kicks up.
The wind gusts over the next 12 hours really picking up. North to northwest winds gusting over 40 miles an hour this evening is going to be very windy. The National Weather Service went ahead and issued this wind advisory from 2 p.m. until midnight tonight.
Most areas are now exceeding 1 inch of rainfall since yesterday.
Milwaukee Public Schools reaches a contract agreement with new superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius. Now the board president expressed optimism for the future of our district.
With Dr. Casilius at the helm, the board is confident that our district will continue to rise to the challenges of an ever-changing educational landscape.
She will begin leading MPS March 15th, 2-year contract. She'll earn more than $320,000 a year, plus a transactional salary of $80,000 before her first annual contract year officially begins July 1st.
Milwaukee police are searching for critically missing 11-year-old Eric Johnson. He was last seen this morning at 9 a.m. near 83rd and Glen. That's west of Fond du Lac. Police describe the child as an African-American, 4 feet 8 inches, 55 pounds, with brown eyes, brown hair styled in an afro. He was last seen wearing a red, white, and blue hooded sweatshirt, black jeans, and black shoes with white stripes. For a photo of Johnson, visit WTMJ.com.
To Green Bay now, encouraging words from the NFL's global head of major events, John Barker, and international games. He says executives make their final site visit to Green Bay very soon.
This is about coming back here, making sure that we feel good about where we are, and then being able to refine the plan.
He tells our partners at NBC 26.
This really is about 32 teams and the opportunity for people to come to one of the greatest stadiums in the world. I think that's super special.
Road closures are expected to begin March 29th when the NFL expects to begin rolling in equipment for the draft stage. Green Bay hosts the draft April 24th through the 26th.
President Trump is allowing for a pause in his new tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico.
It's a 1-month exemption from the tariffs, and it applies to cars and parts from Mexico and Canada. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says, yes, President Trump loves tariffs.
He said it's one of his favorite words of the English dictionary.
But he's granting the exemption to Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis.
The president is giving them an exemption for 1 month so they are not at an economic disadvantage.
But that does not mean he'll forego tariffs altogether.
He believes in tariffs because they'll ultimately make America rich again. They're going to raise revenue. They're going to help us pay down our debt.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Coming up, taking over as the wine capital of the world.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Our podcast on Wisconsin's Afternoon News is sponsored by Dave Drakekamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Check out the podcast, sponsored by DaveDrakekamp.com.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof.
You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts, it's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay, things people love.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
Which city would you say is the wine capital of the world?
The wine capital of the world? Why, it must be Paris, of course, where connoisseurs can sip the heady harvests of the country's 11 wine regions, pronouncing their verdicts, of course, in perfect French. But qu'est-ce que c'est? A new wealth index reveals London now has the largest number of restaurants serving the finest wines in the world, 100 more than Paris. Though, to be fair, most of the wine drunk in those restaurants is French. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. The Bucs are on the home floor one night after defeating the Hawks in Atlanta. Coverage against the Mavericks tonight at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. Doc Rivers' Bucs have won 7 of 8 and are 10 games above 500.
Everybody on our team is over themselves. There's no stuff, what I call clutter. The guys just play together. They want to do right. It's an absolutely fantastic team to coach.
The Brewers continue Cactus League play against the White Sox. Our next broadcast is tomorrow night against the A's. And in college basketball, 20th-ranked Marquette is on the road at UConn. The 12th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers visit Minnesota. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 4 weeks, and I've already lost 20 pounds thanks to my amazing team at Milwaukee Weight Loss. My wife's on board. Kathy loves it, and we are both feeling more energized.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
According to the Census Bureau, more than 12,000 Americans are turning 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. 65 is traditional retirement age because it matches up with Medicare, but Gallup found 61 is the average retirement age. Some Annex clients retire early, but we also have clients working at 70 because they love what they do. You know why? Because they've got plans built by fee-only fiduciaries, plans custom-tailored to their lifestyle. They identify their wants and needs, and we went to work building investment, retirement, tax, and estate plans in their best interest. Proper retirement planning doesn't start the week before you retire. Having a focused plan built by our in-house teams will go a long way in helping you reach the retirement you desire. It all starts with the conversation you probably already have in the back of your mind. It's time to put that into action and contact Annex. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, hope you're having a really good Wednesday. The snow's going to move out of here in a little bit. Brian Wisnansky joins us coming up in about 25 minutes, and he'll walk us through what the rest of the night looks like. So Oak Creek police are asking for help locating a missing endangered girl. The story involves Lillian Asala. Lillian Asala. She was last spotted at a skateboard park in Oak Creek on Saturday at 4 p.m. She said she was leaving for some fresh air. Her grandmother was watching her, and she left and went to the skateboard park. Her great-aunt Amy Zarnecki spoke to our friends at TMJ4.
There were several kids there that did tell us that they saw her there by herself at a picnic table. We just want her home safe as soon as possible. Canines have been out there, lots of drones. They picked up her scent at certain locations. They've been looking there. She is loved, and we would like her home safe.
That is her aunt. She has not been seen. They don't know where she is. So a lot of people are asking, why wasn't an Amber Alert issued? There's very strict criteria for an Amber Alert. This is the deal. Criteria for issuing an Amber Alert: the child must be 17 years of age or younger. Child must be in danger of serious bodily harm or death. And the initiating agency must have enough descriptive evidence to tell us about the child. And this is on the website in all caps and bold. Amber Alerts are not to be used for runaways or family abductions unless the child's life is definitely and definitively in danger. Okay, so she doesn't meet that criteria because they say she left. She walked away from the house.
Yeah, but her cell phone was left somewhere.
But it doesn't prove that she was abducted. She could have dropped the cell phone. Amber Alerts are not to be used for runaways, and they're to be used if they believe an abduction has taken place or the child's in danger. And they don't believe that. Strict adherence to the criteria is essential in order to prevent the Amber Alert plan from losing credibility and becoming less effective. So unless those criteria are met, they're not going to issue an Amber Alert. And her whole family agrees that she walked away from home. So other people have asked, well, what about the Prince McCree Act? Didn't that change the Amber Alert system? What about the Prince McCree Act? Didn't that make it easier to get an Amber Alert issued? Yes, but only in very specific cases. So her case does not meet the criteria laid out in the Prince McCree Act. It states that now, what I just read, you said child must be 17 years of age or younger. Now, if you're 10 or younger, they can issue an Amber Alert. Remember, Prince McKee was 5 years old. Or if they believe the child would have trouble getting home, like they have a disability or they're under the influence. So the criteria has not been met for an Amber Alert to be issued for Lillian Asala. We're sad. We're praying for her. We hope she's found safe. We hope she comes home.
Yes.
But she doesn't meet the criteria. It's very strict and very explicit that if a child walks away from their home or runs away, that's automatically voids the criteria for an Amber Alert. So an Amber Alert will not be issued. Another interesting development. So the middle school where she goes to school in Oak Creek has sent out a letter. This is in part what it says. As you may be aware, one of our 8th grade students, Lillian Asala, has been missing since Saturday. Attached is a flyer being circulated around Oak Creek by her family. We've been in contact with her family, offering as much support as possible during this time. We understand this news may be distressing for our students. There's no right way to feel about a situation like this. If you feel your child is having a difficult time, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are a community, and in difficult times, we stand together. That was sent out by the principal of East Middle School, where she was a student. If you want to see a picture of her, go to WTMJ.com. We've got great pictures of her that'll tell you exactly what she looks like. If you see anything, try to talk to her, or if you're not comfortable, you can call police. She's 5'5", 140, hazel eyes, long, straight blonde hair, last seen wearing a black winter coat, blue jeans, and white and blue Nike shoes. There are pictures at WTMJ.com. It's 5:13 at WTMJ.
If treating your Top Gun has taught us anything,
the Dallas Mavericks have Luka Doncic, and they traded for Anthony Davis.
it's that the sequel is never as good as the original.
I give you Captain Pete Mitchell, call sign Maverick.
Talk to me, Goose.
The Mavericks head to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks.
Pocket pass to Giannis, who soars in and plunges it through with a one-hand slam.
Our Bucks radio coverage starts tonight at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Couple of things you want to make sure you get absolutely right in your house: that the air is good, the air is safe, and that the water is good and the water is safe. Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning protect the water in my house. I know my water is crisp, clean, clear. It's the best water in the neighborhood. It's Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. Their RO system is a filter system. Doesn't cost a lot of money, easy to install, almost no upkeep, and it handles all the water coming into the house. I'm in Menominee Falls, and we're on city water, so I thought, I don't need a water system. I'm on city water. I'm not on a well. Well, guess what? Water was tested, and there were little tiny contaminants in the water. And I feel better now that Guthrie and Fry is protecting our water. They've got friendly, convenient, budget-conscious water conditioning systems, quality products and services at a fair price. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice and my choice is Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Fleet Farm's bucket sale is back. You know the drill. Pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket for only $3.99. Then save 15% on everything you can fit inside, including clearance. That's right. Any qualifying items you can fit in the bucket are 15% off. So come on in and load up on savings during Fleet Farm's bucket sale. Now through March 5th. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lozica, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Well, we're still seeing some delays along southbound 43 right through the Marquette. And over the high-rise bridge, back on the brakes from Lapham down to about the KK River. Northbound is also going to be slow from about the high-rise bridge all the way up to Keefe. Looks like we've got a broken down vehicle on the ramp from Silver Spring to 43 southbound. Looks like one of the lanes of the ramp is blocked off by a squad, so careful with that. Southbound on 41, backing up from Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. East and westbound 94, kind of tight through the stadium. Eastbound starts to slow down around 76th Street, and westbound slows down from about 25th Street to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lozica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Snow ends tonight, then windy, a low of 24. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 40. On Friday, cloudy, 38. Saturday, cloudy, a high of 42. And on Sunday, cloudy, a high of 49 degrees. It's currently 31.
Americans will be paying more for groceries, for gas, for cars, for homes. Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight.
That's Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau calling the fight a trade war. So how could this affect small businesses? Jason Taylor, a small business expert, also works in the realm of tech startups with CodeLaunch.com, says this is clearly not meant to be forever. He says, look what happened today. There's a month-long pause on the 25% tariffs in Canada and Mexico for U.S. auto imports.
These clearly are not meant to be permanent and forever. So this is a disruptive tactic that's designed to cause some disruption, and there could be some short-term pain in the butt. I don't think that these tariffs are going to be all still in place a year or 2 years from now. I don't think that.
But what could change? The supply chain? Especially if you give Wisconsin businesses enough time to transition.
We will find new resources permanently, and we won't come back to them. So they don't have forever to dilly-dally, and they're going to have to negotiate more fair.
Taylor's also in the tech industry and helps tech startups. So what about them? What if they hire someone in Canada, for example? He reminds us this tariff is on goods and services, not services just yet.
And the answer is no. This is for goods coming into the country via plane and ship. So tariffs are not going to apply to services. At least they haven't in the past, and it's not being talked about right now.
We were talking about Target and Best Buy, how soon they're going to be raising their prices, John.
This week, they say,
Wow.
especially on like fruits and vegetables at Target.
Yeah, and then the electronics end, talking about Best Buy, that's a 10% tariff on China. So there you go.
It's happening. It is real.
It's 5:19 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we have... What do we have next? Oh, we have an amazing Milwaukee Public Schools teacher. She's teaching something that's made her go viral on TikTok and around the world. That's coming up.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, these places are so important. And this place, Azura, is absolutely the best. They take care of folks with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. It is Azura. We're living longer. More people, the reality is, are going to have dementia sort of things going on. Let Azura take care of you. I've been in their places. Jill and her team are absolutely amazing. Compassion, empathy, kindness. It's Azura Living, Wisconsin-based and family-owned. They just care. And I feel that every single time I'm in one of their places. Several, almost half a dozen, right here in the Milwaukee area alone. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Leading a nonprofit takes just the right mix of skills, experience, and passion. It is not easy to find those people. But Spano Pratt can help. They specialize in executive recruiting within the nonprofit world. From candidate discovery to assessment and selection, all the way to onboarding and executive coaching. The team at Spano Pratt is full of experts who identify talent that align with your purpose and mission. Go to SpanoPratt.com to start your search.
The biggest boat sale of the year happens at the Waukesha Expo Center March 7th through 9th. Announcing the Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale. Over 60 boats on display. Pontoons, triple tunes, deck boats, fishing and bow riders, even used boats. All in one place at one time. The best brands and the best prices, all priced to sell now with guaranteed spring delivery. So bring along your checkbook and the title to your trade and get the deal of a lifetime. Free admission and parking details at centerpointmarine.com. The Milwaukee Metro Boat Sale at the Waukesha Expo. Be there!
He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
English has so many difficult words to pronounce. I mean, they don't follow any rules. And sometimes you look at them and you're like, how do you pronounce that?
That's a Rogers Street Academy teacher, Milwaukee Public Schools, Sarah Rockleen, who has become a TikTok famous. She's teaching people English. Her handle is English Makes No Sense. She helps pronounce pretty similar words, like if you're stealing something or if you're making steel and steel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then things at the end of a word that end in O-U-G-H, rough and through. They sound completely different when you pronounce that. And police and policy. So it's really interesting how she teaches people on TikTok.
We pronounce it in American English, police, police. Now, drop the E, put a Y, and you get policy? No, you get policy.
She joins us now on the Sighting Unlimited talk and text line. Thank you so much for joining us. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Rockline, yeah.
Rockline, okay. With pronunciation, I got to make sure I pronounce that right at least. How did you think of doing this and just talking to the camera and going on TikTok like this?
COVID, actually. You remember it was TikTok had just come out right before COVID, and then the world shut down, and we all had a lot of time on our hands. And so the kids at school were talking about this new app, TikTok, and I would joke with them like, oh yeah, I'm going to follow you on TikTok as I'm putting them on the bus. And they're like, you don't even know what it is. And I didn't, but I had some time on my hand after COVID shut the world down. And then I started making some videos, and I made a couple, and you get like, I don't know, 100 people look at it. You're like, oh my gosh, 100 people watch that. So then you try another one, and it just kind of grew from there.
And now you're connecting with students all over the world. What kind of feedback have you gotten?
It's been great. I have made friends in Colombia and Brazil. A gentleman from Russia, he's reached out to me a couple of years ago. We became friends through Like people just send messages, hey, I don't know how to pronounce this. Or what does this idiom mean? And so they give me free ideas, and then I just get to run with it and see what works.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about this on the phone, about you, and I was thinking of all these different words that are kind of the same, like a heroine in a movie or heroin, the drug. I mean, it's almost this. It's almost the same thing, and it's spelled different, and there's little tiny things. So, does English really not make any sense?
Pretty much, it seems like for every rule there's an exception, and I really did notice it one time before COVID. There was a young student. I was doing some online teaching with some kids in China, and he was like, "Teacher, why?" I was like, "I don't know," and that just kind of became the tagline of all the videos too. Like, why does English have two different sounds for this, the letter C? There's a soft C and a hard C, and why doesn't it always work with the soft G and the hard G? And then you don't think of it when we're speaking English because we grew up with it. And some of the stuff I have to look up, like, oh yeah, there is a soft G. Okay, got it. Like, so it's hard because there's so many rules, and then there's no paying attention to the rules, like OUGH. What is that about?
Sarah, many people have said that English is one of the hardest languages to learn because of what you just said. Is that the case? Is it, or is that just a thing that people say?
I think it would be. Luckily, I got to grow up with it, so I hear from people that it is very hard because we have so many different, like, how does READ be present, read, and past read? Exact same letter.
Right, right.
And like the past tense of put, like I put it over there on the couch yesterday, and then I cut the loaf of bread yesterday. And the past tense is the same as the present tense. Why?
Exactly.
And then the answer would be, I don't know. And then you just move it on.
And that's why her handle is English makes no sense. Tell me about your new sponsorships that you have. That's pretty fun.
Oh, well, I don't know. So I got to do a little some sponsor for an app, for an English speaking app. And
hey, I'll take it if you don't want it. That's amazing.
Yeah,
and a podcast too.
I mean, it's funny when you say sponsorship, when you put it like that. I said, yeah, I guess I do. So I got to do that, and I got to do some books for a company in Italy a while back, promote their books for ESL learners. And I've had a couple other products, and hopefully it grows. There's a little podcast that's just been chugging along, and other social medias. Like, I've just try new things and see what works. And so far, if I just consistently do it, it seems to grow.
It's so cool.
She is a wonderful Milwaukee Public Schools teacher, Sarah Rockleen. I really appreciate your time. I was watching you on TikTok, and I can't believe that you're from here. So I am fangirling out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. So English Makes No Sense is her handle. Snow is headed our way. We talk about it with TMJ Forest Chief Meteorologist Brian Isdansky.
Hey, check out the podcast page if you want to hear Sarah or the other content we have. It's very easy. Text the word WAN, W-A-N, to 855-616-1620, and it's sponsored by Dave Dragamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDragamp.com. The markets, good day. Everything in the green. The Dow up 485, the NASDAQ up 267, the S&P closed up 65 points. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet Spring Workwear event is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality workwear styles at unbeatable prices. Like 30% off men's work and sport pocket tees, $10.49 each. Save $10 on Ariat Rebar Made Tough work pants. New at Blaine's, men's brunch workwear apparel, 25% off. Plus, earn $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 spent on Carhartt gear. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Are you ready to embark on a voyage like no other? At Fox World Travel, our specialty cruise desk creates unforgettable cruise experiences just for you. Explore the serene Mediterranean, the exotic Caribbean, or the breathtaking beauty of Alaska. We partner with top cruise lines including Celebrity, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, and Viking. Enjoy personalized itineraries, exclusive deals, and expert guidance. From booking to boarding, we manage all the details for a stress-free experience. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO, press 2, and mention code RADIO to start planning.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Rich Lawns Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story: MPS reaches a contract agreement.
I'm Julia Fellow. Will rising costs impact local construction?
I'm Debbie Lazaga, northbound 4394, right at the Mitchell interchange. We've got the right shoulder blocked off with an incident, so watch out for that. We've also got delays past that. We've got basically from the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound slow from Fond du Lac Avenue down to the KK River. On eastbound 94, that's got backups from 84th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound's going to be slow from about 20th Street past Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Really windy right now in Milwaukee at 30 degrees. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour possible tonight. The snow comes to an end later tonight. Slippery spots, be aware. Low will be 24 degrees. Breezy early tomorrow, then it's sunny. The high will be 40 degrees.
Now the rain's transition to snow. How long will it last? Storm Team 4 meteorologist Kristen Kershane.
By 10 o'clock tonight, that snow is completely out of here, and we're left with clouds as we head towards tomorrow morning. We could see some slushy accumulation here with this snow. 1 to 3 inches possible up towards Fond du Lac and Dodge counties. The rest of the area, we're looking at possibly up to an inch.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky joins us, scopes out what's left of the storm. That's in 4 minutes.
Milwaukee Public Schools reaches a contract agreement with a new superintendent.
Welcome, Dr. Casillas. We're excited to work alongside you as we continue to build a bright future for our students and our schools.
Dr. Casillas will start leading MPS in just 10 days. March 15th, her contract, 2 years. She's going to earn about $320,000 a year plus transitional salary of $80,000 before her first annual contract officially starts July 1st.
The race for the Wisconsin Supreme Court has been flooded with multiple donations for campaigns supporting both Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel. Jake Curtis with the Institute for Reforming Government tells WTMJ how the results will impact Wisconsin politics moving forward.
Over the next 3 years, if the progressives lock in a majority, it's a progressive majority to at least 2028. If conservatives can flip it, they then have 2 opportunities to defend that in 26 and 27. So it's fair to say, like, this is kind of like for all the marbles, at least for the next 3 years, control of the Supreme Court is up, and there's a lot of national implications.
Election Day is April 1st.
Despite concerns about building material possibly increasing with tariffs, work continues on the future of the Milwaukee Public Museum.
Museum president and CEO Ellen Sensky says prior agreements with the construction firm building the museum is ensuring supply costs will remain stable thanks to an earlier guaranteed maximum prices agreement.
The high costs are steel for the building, and that's already been ordered and in place.
Meanwhile, donation efforts have reached 80% of the museum's $240 million goal with 2 years of fundraising to go. The museum is expected to open in early 2027. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The new tariffs being implemented by the Trump administration are raising concerns among consumers and economists. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
President Trump posted on Truth Social saying Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called him about these new tariffs. Trump saying Trudeau, quote, largely caused the problems we have with them because of his weak border policies, which allowed tremendous amounts of fentanyl and illegal aliens. Now, Canada, Mexico, and China are facing up to 25% tariffs on a number of goods, drawing concern from consumers of rising prices. So here's a list of what items could cost more in the coming months. Housing, energy, gas, food, toys to electronics.
Trump is granting a 1-month exemption on tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada for U.S. automakers.
Some federal employees who were fired may be allowed to return to work. Here's News Nation's Connell McShane.
An organization called the Merit Systems Protection Board has just ordered the U.S. Department of Agriculture to temporarily reinstate all those probationary employees who were fired by the Trump administration and DOJ. It'll allow just under 6,000 USDA employees to come back to work and return to their posts at least for the next 45 days. We'll see if there's further court action or this gets tied up in the courts, but it looks like they get to go back to work for 45 days.
On this Ash Wednesday, some apparent good news out of the Vatican.
Pope Francis calling the Catholic parish in Gaza. Though he remains hospitalized, his condition remains stable with no new respiratory episodes. The Holy See press office saying the Pope carried out several other work-related activities. He marked Ash Wednesday by taking part in the rite of the blessing of the ashes, receiving them in a short prayer service. This marks the Pope's 20th day in the hospital. Inez de la Quatera, ABC News, at the Foreign Desk.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Your Brewers are back in action today, taking on the White Sox in Cactus League play. Our next broadcast is Thursday night against the A's. In college basketball, tonight, 20th ranked Marquette is on the road at UConn for a 7:30 tip. The 12th ranked Wisconsin Badgers visit Minnesota. The Badgers are tied 4th place in the Big Ten standings. Badgers sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. And your Milwaukee Bucks back on the home floor tonight against the Mavericks. Our coverage starts at 6 o'clock.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
1 o'clock and flurries were flying all over the place.
Yeah, that was about when we saw the changeover here in Milwaukee, early afternoon. And thankfully, snow accumulations have been very minor. Shouldn't be a big issue. Still could get slippery, though, this evening because any water that's on the roadways likely freezing up as temperatures fall below the freezing mark.
What's the accumulation so far?
Most of the area, I mean, less than a half inch, mainly on the grassy surfaces. You're going to get more than that up towards Fond du Lac and Sheboygan, but most of us, not much of a snow event. It definitely was a bigger rain event. Many locations in that inch to inch and a half of rain. Whitefish Bay, 1.53 inches. I believe Milwaukee, last check, 1.15 inches of precipitation. So good soaker, and I'm seeing a lot of ponds in people's yards and stuff. So it'll take a little while for that water to seep into the frozen soil.
I was just going to ask you that. Does this really matter? Is most of it running off? Is the ground still too frozen?
Yeah, as far as like helping our, the soil moisture and stuff
drought.
and your yards and stuff, the drought situation, a lot of it's just going to flow right on into, your storm drain and eventually out to sea. But, so it's good. I mean, it's better than not getting anything, put it that way. So, in general, good soaking rainfall. Hopefully will end up being a little bit more beneficial as we get closer to spring.
Horrific winds going on. I'm getting texts from some of my friends out there.
Another part of this equation, the storm system that we've been talking about is like very powerful. Like one of the strongest areas of low pressure to work across the Midwest ever recorded. So like as far as like the actual like pressure drop towards the center, we found ourselves on the warm side of things for most of the event. Eventually we got into some of that cold air this afternoon, but that change in pressure will crank up the winds this evening. I could see winds gusting over 40 miles per hour again this evening. So be aware of that, especially when you're driving. Keep your speed down with the potential for a little bit of a glaze on the roadways as well.
Sorry, my mic was off. I'm talking and
I
you
could
didn't
hear
hear
you.
me. Yeah, you could hear me, right? You got to be right next to me, Brian. You got to come. You got to come in person soon. Okay.
Oh, one of these days. That'd be fun. I also, hey, I got to make sure tonight is my garbage night to put the garbage pails out. So I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning. I hate doing that because then all of a sudden the garbage guy comes earlier and you miss it.
Yep.
Put some weights on.
So mine was last night. So mine's been sitting out all day while my wife and I are both at work. I hope it's not down at the end of the street.
Oh, yeah. It's long gone now. No.
That's right. I just grabbed
The last time that happened, my kids were literally picking up trash throughout the entire neighborhood. They're like, they went out there. And more power to them. It was like kind of a cool thing they were doing. Good kids, but yeah, it can get a mess out there.
Brian, how's the Northwoods doing? Are they getting a lot of snow?
Lot of snow, yeah. There are spots, I think, in the Northwoods that are going to end up with double-digit fresh snowfall numbers. I'm looking at kind of the webcam of the in-laws' place up in St. Germain, and it looks like a winter wonderland up there. Yes, it looks like a lot of snow. Maybe even some spots close to a foot of snow in far northern Wisconsin. So big dose for them. We mentioned this yesterday. Maybe, I don't know. I don't set up the trails up there, but maybe they can still reopen things up. Get maybe another week out of the
that's what they're hoping.
snowmobiling.
I talked to somebody up there mid-afternoon. They're hoping they can open the trails up for another week or 10 days.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, because then you get that flood of people coming in from Illinois, from down here. Go up there and spend some money in the Northwoods for another weekend.
All right, Niz, how about tonight and the next 5 days? What are we looking at?
Yeah, sure. So for tonight, clearing skies eventually. Still a little bit of light snow. We might get clipped with that for the next couple hours, but eventually we clear out. Windy, a low of 24. So it's going to feel like winter again tomorrow morning, back up to 38. On Thursday, sunny skies, a high of 38 degrees, so it looks really nice. Friday, chance of light snow mainly south of Milwaukee. That system looks to bring maybe some minor accumulation down towards Rockford and Chicago. For us, maybe a dusting around Kenosha, a high of 37. On Saturday, partly cloudy, 43. Weekend looks good. Sunday, mostly sunny, and a high of 48 degrees.
Pretty good stuff. Spring is on the way.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about maybe firing up the grill this weekend by Sunday. You know how 48 and sunshine this time of year feels a lot better than that.
It does. Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Thanks, Niz.
Yep, we'll see you guys.
It is 5:42 at WTMJ. A big investigation. I've never even heard of this stuff being investigated, but it sure is interesting and important. Ben Jordan, TMJ4, up next.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. Ever hear of the Kohler Luckstone shower portfolio? It is beautiful. It is their crushed stone material that they use to do the walls of your brand new bath or shower. So if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, it's time. Now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. They are here to help you out. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler's your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. They'll send somebody out to your home. They'll do measurements. They will give you samples so you can touch and feel what the crushed stone material feels like, and they're super knowledgeable. Right in front of you, they will design a shower space that is just absolutely gorgeous, and you can set up the time for them to do the work. Now, this month only is a great time to do it. Get $1,000 off your Luckstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. All you got to do is visit KohlerServicesWI.com and request your free quote. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Millions of inventory must be sold. Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail, so save thousands. Save big on new hot tubs, spas, and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Visit 800spasale.com.
Hey, Landworks Wisconsin. All this rain's got me thinking about how good my yard's going to look when spring finally comes around. And Landworks Wisconsin has guaranteed I'm going to look great. Landworks Wisconsin, they'll take care of your yard. Big project, small project, whatever you need done, they are there for you. They're local, and I love that. They're just down the road in Sussex. They're really affordable, and they do the best work in the industry. So take the guesswork out of what you want to do with your yard. Let the experts come in and help you plan it together. Contact Landworks today at landworkswisconsin.com. They will be with you from beginning to end. We had one person with us on the whole project and their team of people, but one guy was my point of contact, and I love that, and my yard is going to be fabulous. Landworks, Wisconsin.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Let's get you where you need to safely with our Debbie Laska. Hey, Deb, how are the roads?
Well, things are slowing down. Eastbound 94 still from about 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. The westbound side is backed up from about 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 43 backing up out of the Marquette all the way to Keith. Southbound has cleared up nicely. We're looking pretty good all the way through the Marquette. You will slow down a bit from Lapham down towards the KK River crossing, though. And 41 north and southbound, both looking pretty good right now. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
This is a big investigation, a very big investigation, an important series of stories. It's Duty to Disclose, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Wisconsin Watch, and TMJ4, led by Ben Jordan, investigative journalist, is breaking real news here, and Ben is with us in the studio. Ben, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So Duty to Disclose is about the Brady List. Can you explain to people what the Brady List is and what it's intended to do?
Yeah, this is something most people didn't know existed. The Brady List is a list of current and former officers with alleged credibility concerns due to past crimes, dishonesty, bias, integrity concerns. Prosecutors have to keep track of these officers due to a landmark U.S. Supreme Court called Brady versus Maryland back in 1964. It requires prosecutors to turn that information over to defense attorneys if a Brady List officer is called to testify in court. We know that there are 191 current and former officers on Milwaukee County's Brady List. About 2/3 of them are from the Milwaukee Police Department. Second most is the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, but we know a vast majority of the suburban police departments have at least one Brady List officer on their force or formerly did.
And there may need to be more. There's one that is not on the list, and what did you uncover? That will be on tonight at 6.
Yeah, this investigation raises a lot of questions about whether officers are missing from this list. This goes back to an investigation we did last year into a former Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputy who botched an investigation into a hit and run. But a deeper dive into his record revealed he had been disciplined 8 times throughout his career at MCSO, suspended 5 times. The one of note here was a suspension several years ago for allegedly making racially inflammatory remarks to black people at a Walgreens. If you don't mind, I could read some of the statements that were made. A store employee called the sheriff's office and claimed that Sean Bassage, the former Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputy, asked her, "Why does Black Lives Matter? What the expletive do I owe you people? What, 200, 300 years?" Records show Bassage told investigators the conversation was about him being sick of taking care of black people. Expanding further on that, saying that he made racial comments that were as far as him paying taxes for minorities. So this is why this matters here. Bias, especially racial bias, is a criteria for the Brady List. I don't know if you recall former MPD officer Eric Andrade, who was part of the Sterling Brown incident. He was put on the Brady List for racial bias. This officer isn't on the list. We spoke with the sheriff, the chief judge, and the district attorney about this case.
So you deserve some credit here because the sheriff did not want to talk about this. You've been trying to talk to the sheriff for a very long time. She wouldn't do the interview. You wouldn't go away. What did the sheriff say when you asked her about his exclusion from the list or his behavior?
The sheriff basically washed her hands clean of this situation and said she wasn't the sheriff at the time when this happened and that someone else made this decision and she's not going to go back and relitigate this case.
Okay, the racist comments at the Walgreens, though, was he on duty? How do we know that this happened?
We know he was off duty at the time and under the influence of alcohol.
And there's other things with this guy, right?
Yeah, there was another suspension for allegedly passing a $100 counterfeit bill at a Fond du Lac bar. Fond du Lac police investigated that incident. He wasn't charged, but he was suspended by the sheriff's office for that incident.
Which means there was some credibility to the allegation if he was suspended.
That is so, gosh.
So I
Secret Service
understand
gets
Danita
involved in that.
Ball saying, all right, I wasn't in charge. Does she believe he should be on the list? Could she add him to the list now?
She could refer his case to the district attorney's office, but she says what's done is done, and she's not going to relitigate that case.
Okay, that's a good question, though. How do you get onto the Brady list? Is it like the sheriff or the DA or who?
It's a very good question. Typically, it is law enforcement agencies referring integrity violations that were substantiated by their departments to the district attorney's office, who then make that determination whether that is Brady material.
Yeah, and if you are part of law enforcement, if you're looking at it from the inside, there's that blue line where you want to stay on the side of the men and women in blue. I mean, maybe they don't want to give up some of their
Right.
people
That can
on
be
that
problematic.
list. That list is deadly.
So, Sean, Ben, this goes on and on. I mean, you outline also that this same officer was involved in a questionable hit and run or a traffic accident that has implications. What did you discover?
The sheriff admitted that this deputy did a poor investigation. She said doing a poor investigation doesn't rise to the level of being put on the Brady list. I do want to make note, we asked the district attorney whether he thought this was Brady material. He said he couldn't make a determination based on our short conversation with him, but we followed up and he said he didn't go back and re-review this case. We also asked
Go ahead.
We also asked the chief judge whether he thinks that's Brady material that should be disclosed if this officer were to come and testify in court, and he said he would have to defer to the district attorney and the sheriff about that.
So was the DA, the sheriff, and the police chief all in front of you at the same time doing the interview? So that makes it hard because when you're trying to blame one or the other. So maybe did they all want to do the interview together, or was that your decision?
Very interesting question. We asked for individual interviews, and they insisted it was a joint interview between the DA, the Milwaukee police chief, the Milwaukee County sheriff, as well as the chief judge.
But then, as a good journalist does, you doubled back with them individually. I mean, you just recounted a conversation with the DA. And does the DA just not have an interest in this topic? Does he not want to relitigate? Why? I don't understand. You've presented a very compelling case that seems to argue that this guy should be on the list.
I wouldn't say that he isn't interested because we've brought several cases to his attention. For example, the 5 dead officers that were still on the list.
What?
One who had his case expunged. A couple others who had internal violations that we just thought were interesting and wanted to report on them. And he proceeded to take them off the list. So I wouldn't say he doesn't care, but we feel that our investigation shows that there are inconsistencies with this Brady list and how it's maintained. And back to this Bassich situation, we took the sheriff's response, the DA, the chief judge's response to a professor at the University of St. Thomas who focuses on police accountability research. And she said she's concerned with the sheriff's decision and the fact that someone else made a decision doesn't alleviate the current DA and the current sheriff from deciding whether that information should potentially be shared to a judge and a jury and defense attorneys.
Yeah, it's an important tool in our judicial process. And if you've determined that it's inaccurate and inconsistent, and you've pointed out specific cases where the DA agreed with you, apparently, That's dangerous for all of us. That's something we should all be concerned about. Is that kind of what the professor seemed to agree with?
That's exactly what she said, yes.
So
and
what are you-
we
go
also talked with a civil rights attorney who said, if this is a direct quote, if Bassich isn't on there, then you know there are dozens and dozens of other officers that should be on the list that are not.
Okay, so the Bassich story with incredible detail is tonight at 6 o'clock. You've got to see this piece, TMJ4, tonight at 6 o'clock. It'll be posted on their website afterwards. What are you working on for down the road? You've got a lot of stuff here.
We're working on all sorts of stories on this Brady list, particularly officers who are on the list, such as Nicole Swenson, who we spoke with yesterday. She's going to be in court on Friday for a plea and sentencing. We're going to be doing a story on a pair of Milwaukee police officers who were deemed not credible by a judge in a criminal case, but they aren't on the Brady list, and public defenders strongly disagree with that decision, along with several others.
Yikes.
It's incredible work. It's Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News, Ashley Lutheran, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and Jim Malwitz of the Wisconsin Watch. Ben Jordan with us here live in the studio. Check out the website and his reporting. Ben, thank you so much. Good job on this.
Thank you very much for having me.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Despite delays, Advocate Health is moving forward with a nearly $50 million facility on Milwaukee's